And we're back. Will, how are you doing?
That is a good question. I am thriving in the maelstrom, but struggling in real space.
I enjoyed what you did there. That was like actually professional. Oh, I feel
Was a
ill
little bit.
prepared now. That's just not a great start for me. Certainly for you, that was
Yeah,
fantastic.
just busy week, mate. Busy week,
So,
but it's Friday. We're here. Got Warhammer. What's not to be happy about?
I mean, it could be better. We could have had wings, but or
Yeah,
whether I don't even know what that word was supposed to be. Then it sounded like many things combined. We could have had
wings.
wings.
We could have,
Wings.
but fates have kept us apart this week.
They have, and indeed, it will be next week. We'll be kept apart.
It will. Yeah, curse my work and training courses. But yeah, how you doing, mate?
Filth. I'm all right.
Yeah,
It's been a pretty heavy week for me as well. So it's been one of those things.
yeah. January just in full force.
It is. But that said, there's been positive things happen. It was the January reveal. I can't speak today.
That's
The January reveals
easy for
was
you to
last
say.
weekend,
It was. Yeah.
and I think that's what I want to talk about, along with a
Yeah.
couple of other things. But I think it's going to be the January reveals, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's probably gonna take up the bulk, isn't it? I mean, there's a fair bit to talk about, but yeah, I made some notes live, so I'm good to dive into that if you are.
I am absolutely ready and waiting to get dived on in. But before we do, thank you everybody for listening, subscribing. Things are going positive. They're growing. That's I'm surprised because we are not good at this. I mean, Will's better, but
I don't know. I think we have our off days, we have our on days. I think
true.
we're authentic. We're just two guys having a chat, and I suppose that's the main thing. So, life gets in the way, and sometimes we're grumpy, sometimes we're excited, sometimes we're over caffeinated, but people seem to like it.
That's going to be the new tagline. Thanks for everybody that's left us a 5-star review or left a comment on the podcast on any of the various streaming services. We do appreciate it. It's down to you guys that things are going in the right direction, whatever that direction is. So long as there's one of you listening and one of you enjoying it, then that's all good with us.
Yeah.
So do all the usual stuff. Comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, tell your mum about us. Possibly don't. She might make you stop listening. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
come and chat with us on Discord as well. The link
Oh
is
yeah,
in
the
our.
Discord. We've had some new people in there, haven't we? So
Yeah, we have. It's growing, isn't it? We've got a
it
good
is.
group, some really nice paint jobs and conversions going on in there, and just it's nice to just have a grumble about daily life, but have somebody talk about Warhammer just to keep us on track. But yeah, I think the link will be in this episode description, and it's everywhere else. So yeah, come and join us. And if you
Everywhere.
can't find it, yeah, if you can't find it, drop us a message on our socials, and we'll get you invited.
Yeah. Welcome to all the new Discord people. I think we're going to talk a little bit as well about some housekeeping stuff a bit later on in it. But
Yeah,
let's have a natter first. I think about those reveals. So
yeah.
we'll just get into it and yeah.
Hmm.
Let us know what you guys think about the reveals as well down in the comments or over on Discord, and come and have a chat with us. The January reveals. Then I wasn't expecting this to happen. To be absolutely honest, did this happen last year?
Um, I can't remember, to be honest. I think, it was this time last year, I was kind of in my infancy of getting back into the hobby, but I don't remember it. I think because we were hanging out at that point and we didn't mention it, so,
Huh.
mm,
I mean, we could have possibly checked, but I don't remember there being a January reveal last year. But if there was, fine. So this kind of came out of the blue, I think, without any real foresight. Hence why I didn't get a chance to watch it live, unfortunately, because I made other plans, some light social plans, which is unlike me.
I know you had, like, an actual life
I know it was.
for
I
one
did
night
actually.
only. Sorry.
I did. I did contemplate cancelling the plans, but it was a game night with another couple, and the girls were really up for a chat, so I was like, I better not cancel it."
Yeah,
And
well, I
I
mean,
couldn't even slide my phone at the side of the table and,
you
watch it,
caught
so
you caught up, though.
I did. Thankfully, I managed to watch it in, retrospect, so
Yeah.
yeah, wasn't too bad. Anyway, right, since you actually did watch it live, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one and walk me through it.
Cool. Well, I've kind of made notes in order of what was revealed, so yeah, let's do it. But first off, very much a piratey theme going on, wasn't there? Which I mean,
Ah,
I like pirates. You'd think I'd be all over this with the amount of One Piece that I've been watching of late. If you know what One Piece is, I'm sure somebody listening does. Big up One Piece. But the first thing we saw was obviously Huron Blackheart and the Masters of the Maelstrom. which, by the way, would be a cool band name, if nothing else.
Yeah,
So,
really would, wouldn't it?
yeah, I
Really,
mean,
really would.
we spoke last week about this kind of being leaked, and seeing a little bit of it already, didn't we? But, yeah, we got to see it in, a bit more of its shiny glory, didn't we? So, yeah, we got, Gary and the Corpse Master, um, the Lord Apothecary. Oh, he is the Lord Apothecary, sorry. Qatar Garrix, who is the headsman, the dude with the big axe. Garlon Soul Eater, he's the one that has the sort of Thousand Sunsy looking helmet. And who else was there? I can't remember, but there was a few of them, weren't there? That was his little sort of retinue. Yeah. What did you think to them before I dive into my notes again?
I mean, I think we've talked about my feelings about hearing Blackheart in the first instance.
Yeah, we'd have to talk about Kieran himself. We kind of covered that last week, didn't we?
I was tentatively excited that they might actually release that it was just a fake.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, I honestly thought that they might just say, "Ha got you." But they didn't. And then I thought, well, maybe they will just show it with the double power claw because that still is awesome. And they didn't. But yeah, I'm starting to come around to him slowly. Not not 100%. Definitely needs a head swap and the little lizard thing, as I said before. But I still can't get the the silhouette of just a standard Slaves to Darkness Chaos Warrior out of my head. I think it's quite derivative. I would have liked to have seen something a little bit more daring with it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's starting to grow on me. I've got to admit. It's just the one thing that definitely hasn't grown on me is, and I think it's got a name because you mentioned it before we started recording, the little muscly lizard thing.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but, yeah.
So the rest of his retinue,
Yes.
the the apothecary is just no, it's just so standard.
Yeah, I wanted to like it, but, it just looks like a bit of a poor man's Fabius Bile, really, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I'm not really there for that. I did think the weird dinosaur looking thing very interesting.
The bounty hunter thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did
Ca
like it.
the enforcer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I don't know much lore-wise about, that race or what they do, but, it looked like a big sort of humanoid lizard dog. It definitely looks like a Star Wars bounty hunter. Let's get
It
that out of the
really
way.
does.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
100%, yeah, totally
uh,
agree with you.
and that's not a bad thing. You know, looks like a beefy bosk.
Mhm.
Yeah. But,
It really
yeah,
does.
apart from that, yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more about the lore, but, yeah, it's a cool model. It's nice to see something different, but the one that I really like is the human. What's her name?
The lady on the thingamay with,
Captain Sargotta? Sagrotta? Yeah,
whatever,
Captain
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I really like that. I like the sort of platform that she stood on. I think that's the nicest model of the lot for me.
agreed. Like 100% agree with you on this.
Yeah.
The only thing that, and again, Star Wars, it really reminded me of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I don't know what it is. It just had Imperial fleet, like, standing.
Do you know what? Now you've said it, it reminds me of the, this isn't a Star Wars podcast by any means, but, I think it's where they do the Senate meetings, in the
Yeah. Yeah,
prequels.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and it's
with
got the thing flying around,
yeah,
yeah.
the circular discs. Yeah, I see what you mean now.
And I couldn't get past that. But
Mm,
yeah, she's certainly the standout, I think, and I think there'll be some really great community paint jobs here.
yeah.
Would like to paint this myself. I think there's a real opportunity. I'd like to do it really dark from the front, and then her
Mm.
just lit by those screens on that
That'd
left
be
hand side.
cool.
I think it'd look really, really cool as a diorama piece. But
And the
yeah, I think this one's an excellent sculpt.
Yeah, I think there'll be ways to you'll be able to, proxy that into, Astra Militarum army,
Oh,
all
totally.
sorts. Loads of potential with that one, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%. I did think the bounty hunter guy's dog thing, whatever it is really good, and I'm not into the animal sculpts generally,
I believe
but
that's a
this one I thought
female.
was pretty cool. Sorry?
I believe, he is a she. I think it's a female, that bounty
Alright,
hunter.
okay.
I might have, heard wrong, but yeah, I think they referred to it as she. So, but yeah, that dog's cool. I think the sculpt kinda reminds me a lot of the a lot of AOS models. It's quite muscly on the hind legs. It's almost got a bit of a oh, what are the guys you've just painted? Honestly, it's been a long day. Flesh eater
Flesh eaters.
courts. Yeah, it's got a bit of that flesh eater vibe with the sort of sinewy, muscly look, hasn't it? To me,
Do you know what? Like straight away when I saw it, you know what it made me think of?
but
Resident Evil, the first one. It looks like the zombie dog.
yeah,
Like straight away, I thought of the zombie demons and that.
yeah. No, I see that now. Yeah, but I think yeah, that's cool. I mean, you know me, I love dogs. It's nice to see a dog on the tabletop in plastic, isn't it?
Totally is.
Yeah,
Yeah, totes. So
but
this other one that's on there then. So there's two other sculpts we haven't really talked about, isn't there? There's the this executioner dude. Is this
yeah, I think
who's
that's
this?
I think that's a bit of a weak one. That
It's
one
atrocious.
is that Qatar Garrix? Yeah, that's or Qatar Garrix. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't particularly like that one. It looks like an old sculpt that they just chucked in the box. I'm sure it's not, but it just looks a bit sort of static, a bit rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, not to sound derivative here because we, for some reason we seem to constantly compare stuff to either Soul Calibur games from back in the day or Tekken games. But this really reminds me of Astaroth, like
yeah, I
just the
see it.
pose of it, Astaroth in I think
I
it was
see
like
it.
Soul Calibur 3.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, no, I see that completely. I mean, yeah, I think there's obviously kit bash potential and conversion potential there, you know, especially with the skulls. I could see, I mean, that screams Night Lord to me, yeah, straight off the bat. And I'm sure you could make that look a bit better. Yeah, it just looks a little static for me, but, you know, I think all in all, it's not a bad box. It's probably not one I'm going to buy, but you've got quite a lot of variants on a really sort of similar
Yeah.
theme there. And I think that's a good thing.
I think it's probably worth buying just for the I can't remember the character's name, the human lady and here in
Yeah.
Blackheart. I think
Yeah. Well, I think they
the
said,
other three are other four, sorry, are derivative.
yeah, I think they said, the only way to get them for at least for now is gonna be in that box. They're not gonna be
Yeah.
available separately, so yeah. What do you think about the, sorcerer guy?
Again, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, dude. It just looks like a generic Thousand Sun.
Yeah.
Even the pose. All the only thing it's missing is like a disc for him to be flying around on.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, it's that
is straight out of Space Marine 2.
yeah, it's the robes, isn't it? It's the robes
Yeah.
on the legs, that's been done before, yeah, I mean, it's good to have a bit of variance. I do like the helmet, but yeah, overall, I think 3 out of 5 ain't bad, isn't that what Meatloaf said?
I think that is probably the Sorcerer probably is my second favorite, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, if we discount Huron out of it, I mean, it is no messing around aside and all that. Huron probably is the best sculpt in there other than the
Mhm.
human lady, but in terms of just cool models with potential, yeah, the Sorcerer is fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
it's
very old
fine.
school, really old school to me as well.
Yeah, yeah, I think there is I don't know if maybe that's been part of it. You know, if you look at the sorcerer and you look at the headsman, maybe it is a throwback because if you think about when the sort of when these guys are more relevant in the lore, it was quite a while ago. So
Mhm.
maybe it is a hark back. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a you know purposeful design choice.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I suppose if you think thematically, they would be wearing sort of older variant armor, you know, that's been sort of pieced together and things like that, so maybe that's why they've done that? I don't know, maybe we're giving them too much credit.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
okay. Yeah, anything else about these guys in particular, or
Um, I mean, I'll go out on a limb and say I think of the releases, these are the weakest for me in this.
yeah,
So yeah,
I'd agree with that, yeah. I think, part or you know, if you look at it as part of the grander narrative with more of what's been included in that sort of setting, and in that storyline, probably is the weakest part of it. But I think altogether, it's quite exciting. You know, when you look at you know the standard red corsairs that they put in, I really like them models.
should we talk about those?
Yeah, we can do. I suppose it leads us nicely into it. Yeah, I mean, you've got the Red Corsair Raiders, which is brand new kit. You know, I think of them almost like the elites, the bad ab war veterans. very much got a traitor vibe to them guys rather than out and out chaos, and I like that. I mean, I immediately looked at them and thought, Night Lord's Kit Bash.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think because that leans into that sort of thematic version of especially, Talos and First Claws Night Lords where they are scrabbling around trying to find armor and, they're not out and out chaosy. It's definitely got that vibe, and I like that. And it is nice to see, a new kit, even if it is just a take on something that we already have. I think they've done something nice with them, It's a brand new it's plastic, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is, but it's just a nice it's nice to see something different than Legionnaires to have under that banner, pun
I
intended.
agree with you totally
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's nice not to see, you know, mutations and, you know, 8 pointed stars and, the usual stuff. It's good, yeah. I think, I like I like the Heartback with the older weapon variants, the older power armor. It's almost getting a bit of secondhand nostalgia from it. You know what I
I
mean?
I I absolutely get where you're coming from that, and you know what? We've talked about it before. I'm not really into era stuff. I'm not really that into Chaos Marines. I'm definitely not into pirates. I'm really not liking the Hero and Black Hat stuff and the Command Retinue or whatever they're calling us. However, this Battle Force box, my god, if I was going to get one, I would get this. I think like the color scheme just works for me, and these models, everything that you've just said, I can't agree with you enough. This
Right.
just looks different enough to be exciting for me. I think that all of this Battle Force box, even, and I never thought I would say this, even the Traitor Guard, and I'm sure some of those are the models from Blackstone Fortress. I think they are with just an upgrade sprue on it.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, that makes sense.
they just look great in this color scheme. I genuinely, absolutely 100% really, really like these guys. I think they're fantastic. I even like the standard paint scheme they've done here, and I never say that about Games Workshop stuff.
No, you
It's
don't.
really not for me overall, but these look derpy enough, but cool enough for me. I don't think they look as good as some of the Imperial sculpts. There's something that's just almost goes back to second edition derpy from it. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if it's the armor type. I don't know if it's just the proportions look a little bit thicker. I don't know if it's the hair
Mhm.
that goes back to kind of like the early 90s. I'd have been like 10, 12 years old and seeing like Al Fesher on the cover of White Dwarf and stuff, and it had this flicked over kind of like center parting thing that they had going on. I don't know if it's a combination of those things, but as you said, I think it's a big nostalgia hit coupled with a really strong color scheme that just works with the painting style to the point where I considered buying it, man. I'm not
Yeah?
gonna lie. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
surprising.
yeah. Legitimately considering buying it.
Do you like the, Reeve Captain?
Please hold. I don't like his face.
Okay.
But as we all know, I would think by this point, I would put an helmet on him.
Yeah, there is a helmet adoption, isn't there? I think.
I would almost certainly do that.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't like
oh, actually,
the
yes.
top knot.
Is that the alternate build option for him?
Oh, it is, yeah. I think you can build him as, Reeve Captain or something else, can't you? So, I mean, you could do what you wanted with it really, couldn't you?
It is, yeah. I'd almost certainly do it with that helmet.
Mm.
I might even keep the top knot on it. I do like the star behind it,
I don't
and
like
I
the
do
top
replay.
knot. I really don't like top knots unless you're looking at, Sons of Horus.
I mean, I'm not against it. Um, it's not
I
really
think it's
for me,
been
but
done. I just think it's been done, and I've seen it too much, I'm a bit bored of the top knot, and I think it's just not for me. I'd be chopping it
that's
off.
fair.
I'd be chopping that straight off.
I'd almost certainly like. I don't like the power cutlass. I think that's a bit too on the nose for piratey
It is,
stuff.
yeah. I like it
But
though, for that.
I'm not into maces either or power moles, whatever that is. So I'd probably replace it with either a In fact, what I might do is just cut the tip of the cutlassy power sword off, just so it looks like a more of a regular power sword, but with a
Yep.
handguard. Or obviously, the thing that everything should be is just a chain axe.
Yeah, chain axe would work.
A chain axe would
We need more chain
100%.
axes. Definitely need more chain
Everything
axes.
needs more. I mean, life needs more chain axes.
Imagine, like, doing your gardening with a chain axe, cutting the hedges with a chain axe. How fun would that be?
I've been in meetings where I wanted to cut people with chain axes, mate.
And it has been that kind of day, everybody. But I second that. But no, I agree with, most of what you said there, to be honest, apart from the top knot. I mean, I like the pirate vibe, but I'm a big fan of pirates,
Yeah,
in fiction. So, yeah, I think it's just really nice to see just something a bit more refreshing for chaos. And I know they're not out chaos, but, for the sake of argument, for chaos. It's nice to see some new bad guys.
it really is. Can I just touch on another couple of things that
Mm,
I've
course
just
can.
not noticed, but there were points that I should have made notes on and didn't because I've been very busy this week.
Yeah.
So a couple of other things that I've really liked about these as well. And again, this plays into the nostalgia. I think calling them Chaos Space Marines, and you've used the term, I believe, as we were talking earlier, renegade. Renegades, I think, is better, and just using that verbiage takes you back to, or certainly takes me back to thinking about Rogue Trader and how
Mm,
they were described in that specific publication. This is like 100% on the nose with that. There's even a couple of the models that they painted, I think, with like the black war paint over the eyes, which
yeah.
there was some John Blanche artwork in there as well that echoes with the wider power packs as well. And
Yeah.
the other thing that I particularly liked, which I think again is a callback to Renegade Space Marines, big air quotes there, is the lack of Baroque endornments on the armor. I really like that. Now, that's not to say that I want to get rid of that on all chaos. I absolutely don't. But I think having something like this where they're just on the precipice of turning, just,
Mm,
going down that road and they're still in that renegade state where the armor is more imperial
yeah.
but has a taint to it. I really, really like that, and I think that's one of the things that's made me think this is more appealing after coming straight off the back of the Slaves to Darkness, in AOS army that I painted this year. I don't really ever want to paint that much trim again in one go,
Yeah. I get
and
that.
when I saw this and I was like, "Oh, more chaos," but I do quite like them when I looked more closely. The lack of that made it, again, a little bit more appealing to me, and the
Yeah.
more I've kind of analyzed the sculpts a little bit closely, I really do like that quite a lot, so I think they've been quite clever in how they've pulled on those nostalgic traits from those early publications, and I wonder then if that's then laying the foundation in the narrative through the visual aesthetic of these models, that they're gonna start arcing back to some of the ideas that they had in Rogue Trade, and perhaps not some of the more political leaning ideas and the ones that may be a little bit less acceptable in 2026, but certainly pulling on some of the threads where we may even see auxiliary races brought into 40k. And I think we've already seen an example of that, in fact, in that retinue, haven't we,
Yeah, absolutely.
with the other character above. So I think there's some really interesting things going on there, rather than just the models, and I wonder if that's going to be something that we can allow ourselves to be a little bit more excited about going forward. It's piqued my interest again back into the 40k side of things.
Yeah, to be fair, that's a really good point. I did not think about it until you said it, but yeah, it is a very good point. And I mean, I wasn't around and sentient anyway at the time of Rogue Trader, so that's it's a learning curve for me. So it'd be good to dive into a bit of that, and maybe one episode you tell me a little bit more about it, or next time you're around or something, because
Yeah, absolutely.
it was before my time, I guess you'd say.
Guys, let us know in the comments because there's some really fun stuff in Rogue Trader that I think it'd be fun to discuss just to fund the
Mm.
podcast. I mean, I was around when it was around. It was my first exposure to Warhammer, and there's a lot of nostalgia there for me, but there's some really cool, really, really fun, completely out there balmy things that we could talk about. And I think it'd be really, really good fun for me to drop some of that on you, Will, and just get your
Yeah.
opinion as some of the stuff you like, what the actual no, no, that's not a thing. And you're like, "It's really a thing." Let us
Yeah.
know in the comments if you want to hear us do that because, yeah, we can make that happen.
Yeah, and if nobody does wanna hear it, you can tell me anyway,
Well,
off
I was
mic.
gonna say, yeah, that's a valid point, isn't it?
Yeah, we are friends in real life, don't forget.
Are we? Doesn't
Mm.
seem so. Never see
So
you anymore. We're all so busy. So what else was in this release then?
next, we got, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation here, I tell you what, the outcast Prince of Iandan, how do you say his name? Uriel? Prince
Uriel.
Uriel? Uriel.
Is it Uriel?
I
I've
don't
always
know.
called it Uriel.
Yeah, or Prince Uriel, yeah, the outcast Prince of Iandan. This model, he looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist, and that's another anime reference. Do you get that one? I'm gonna guess you do from the chuckle. Yeah, I don't know what that thing on his arm is, but yeah, it definitely looks like he should be a, I don't know, at Battle City or something at the tournament. Anyway, we're not an anime podcast, but yeah, brand new sculpt for him. Some other brand new Eldar sculpts. Eldar's never really been something I've been particularly interested in. Not say I dislike it, but I don't know much about the lore of the Sky Reavers and the Void Reavers and the Starfang and the Viper. I don't really know the difference between a lot of the vehicles, but I like how they look. What do you think?
Space elves.
Yeah.
Like like fantasy elves. They're there's no need for them to exist. No, yeah. They're not for me. They're
No?
not for me at all. And pirate space elves, again, it's not for me. However, I can appreciate the aesthetic of some of these, and there's some cool traits here. So Prince Uriel, I'm not too keen on the sculpt. I think compared to the corsairs, it's not quite as good. But I can. This is one of the times I will concede where I think this is GW's paint job, and I think this
Mm.
is going to look so much better once it gets out there. I
Yeah.
can imagine somebody like Elmin Trista doing this really, really well.
Yeah,
I
that's a
do
fair
think
point.
it looks much better when he's got the helm on, and
Uh,
it does
yeah, I agree with that.
really start to make me think more of, and I can get where this is almost like a progression from pure Eldar, the craft world Eldar, as it were. I suppose
Mm.
those are, yes, technically, I suppose these are more pure in that respect than those, but craft world Eldar being this, the good faction, these kind of being the morally grey faction,
Yeah.
and then into Drukhari that are kind of like, the naughty boys and girls. But you can see the aesthetic change, I
Yeah.
think, where it goes from pure, unadorned to much like Chaos Space Marines. It's like you go from the Imperial standard Primaris armor now to the Corsairs,
Yeah.
then to a full Chaos Space Marines. I think this release tells that story quite well, to me at least.
Yeah,
Again, I'm
I'd
not
agree with that.
too keen on the pirate vibe, and I don't know much about the faction at all, other than are these the dudes that ride dinosaurs?
I've no idea. I'll be completely honest. I really don't know. I've never particularly been up on the lore of the Eldar unless somebody else is fighting them, to be honest.
Fair dues. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm pretty certain. Perhaps it's these. I don't want there. There is, isn't there? There's some space elves that ride dinosaurs.
That's news to me. I shall take your word for that. But yeah,
So
I mean, let's face it, I'm not gonna buy it. Don't think you are either. But I'm interested to see other people's takes on these models. Yeah. I'm
I
not.
think there's a couple of things that are worth discussing on these
Yeah, go for it.
because I don't want to do them a disservice, and I
Okay.
don't want to totally dismiss them. I think they look well updated comparatively to what's currently out there. And one thing that I really did like about these, and I need to go back and check if it's the same with Dracari, but I don't believe it is. The helmets have got ears sculpted on them, which I don't know why it makes them look so much better than the Eldar
Oh yeah.
helmets without ears sculpted on them.
I didn't see that actually. Yeah.
But I'm just like,
That's
if I was
quite.
going to pick an Eldar faction now, purely on aesthetics,
You'd go for
I
these.
would go with these just because they've got ears on the helmet, and I don't know what it is, but they look so much cooler. to me at least. Whereas I think everything else about them as well. The other thing that I noticed, and again, I'm not professing to be some type of Eldar fan by any means, so I may be
Xenos
totally wrong
lover.
about this, and do please tell me if I am. The Craft World Eldar, I always see being literally space elves, I suppose, quite lithe, quite fast, agile, light on the feet. And I know these guys are supposed to be like that as well, but these look like they're more muscular. They've got more heft to them.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah. I think, like, the thighs look thicker, like, the biceps look they don't look as sort of weedy as they used to do.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's something that's gonna be reflected perhaps in the rule set for them. You know, are they gonna be a little bit harder hitting, but a little bit slower, a little bit less mobile, perhaps? If that is the case, I think that's a really good point of differentiation between like three very, I assume, very similar kind of factions, with it being almost like a sub faction.
Yeah, yeah, that's a valid point, yeah, yeah, I didn't think about it that way. I mean, yeah, they're nice enough to look at, but, I mean, it doesn't look that dissimilar that it's making me rethink my, preconceived notions of Eldar, to be honest. It's not pulling me into their lore, it's not pulling me into their story kind of thing just by looking at them, but, it's early days yet. I haven't obviously read the Maelstrom lore or anything like that, so maybe that'll change my mind a bit when I get to know about these guys a bit more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Last
Would
thing then,
Go
it's
on.
elder exodites that are the dinosaur riding dudes,
Oh,
and
okay.
is this guy are these are these exodites? I don't know.
I don't know either. Let us know if you know.
I mean, I will look this up after because I need to know now. But that's the for some reason I thought that these I wasn't are they dinosaur riding pirate elves, because that makes them somewhat cooler.
Do you think?
I mean, dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
They're 100% not for me, but
Yeah,
yeah, the Farseer model just looks meh. It looks like a Farseer.
yeah,
And the Viper Starfang, I do like the look of that. I got to admit, it does look
yeah.
pretty sweet.
I do like yeah, I like the vehicles. I think the Eldar vehicles have always been the nicest part of the range for me. I mean, I guess it's because I like motorbike racing, and it looks like the front of a fully faired MotoGP bike. It's that kind of curved aerodynamic with a bit of spikiness. That I think that's why I've always kind of liked the look of them because it's quite
I'm with you.
reminiscent of that. Or like a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
superbike, it's that kind of aerodynamic look, isn't it?
I think one of the elements as well, just looking now at some of the other models in that I don't like, is the capes.
You don't like the
I don't.
capes,
No, I'm not into the capes, and a lot of
okay?
the poses seem very, very similar.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I sound very unenthusiastic about them, and I guess I am to an extent. I mean, when you're looking at just the rank and file guys, there isn't enough to. There's no real differentiation to me. I look at one and I kind of, it's almost just like a blur of Eldar. Nothing
Yeah.
really jumps out at me. Nothing's really. I don't know. It's different to when I'm looking at the red corsairs. Even when I'm looking at the standard troops, there, everyone's a little different because they've got different bits of armor, different helmet patterns, different weapons.
Mhm.
And these guys just look a bit, I don't know, a bit samey, you know?
No, I know exactly what you mean. I think it's a great update if you're into the Eldar, and if you
Hmm.
are, I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
And this is one of the things, isn't it, that we've talked about before. You're not going to like everything, and you don't have to. It's a huge hobby, and I'm happy for the people that wanted these and like them. And I can't wait to see what people do with them out in the community.
yeah,
I'm sure there'll be some absolutely fantastic paint jobs and armies that are built around space elvish pirates.
yeah, yeah.
I'm there for it, but I ain't really got anything else to say about these for me. It's yeah,
No,
I'm happy for you if you're into them.
yeah, me too. I mean, next up was the Warhammer 40,000 Maelstrom sort of books. Yeah, the 4 books akin to the 500 Worlds books. That was the next thing that was announced. So, did you see them? What do you think? think we kinda knew that was coming, didn't we?
Yeah. I'm more interested in the books than I think any of the models at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, can I
I'm
ask you a quick
interested.
question?
Yeah, go for it.
Just on the real face value of how the books look, what do you think to the font?
It's a bit sketch.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought you might
It's
have a stronger opinion than that because I know how
well, I was trying to be a little bit more composed than I might normally be, but yeah, it is vile, mate,
yeah.
vile.
I suppose, I mean, it keeps it different, and I suppose it does grab your eye, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Don't judge a book by its cover, as the old saying goes.
But there's also no reason to like grab your eye and then like stab it repeatedly with a blunt pencil, is there?
Yeah, that's
Uh,
true.
it's an interesting design choice.
Yeah. But,
I don't get it.
no, no, it's an interesting one, but, sorry, I kinda jumped on you because I wanted to hear what you thought about that, but you were gonna tell me what you thought about the idea of the books in general, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean the whole 500 worlds thing. I'm interested in full stop. I do want to read the lore behind what's going on there. I would obviously like the collector's edition books, being a book collector in the Warhammer space, but probably not going to go down that line yet. Um, in terms of the story, I don't know enough about it, so I don't really have an opinion until I've read it. I'm not 100% what's kind of going on in the lore in
Yeah,
the
same.
present, really. So
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I mean, I'm excited to learn more. So yeah, if nothing else, that's what the books are gonna do for us. But, I thought it was cool how, they mentioned, you've got different options for Raven Wing, a rogue trader, different characters and stuff that you can put in there. And on the back of it, we got the Maelstrom battalions, didn't we? The Drakari and the Leagues of Votan guys. So it's nice to see them getting a bit of love.
I absolutely did not expect Leagues of Votan, and
No.
I'm hoping that from that they're gonna get a second wave release that's gonna elaborate on the lore, because I did actually pick up the was it ni they dropped in ninth edition, didn't they?
I believe so. I was kind of out of the hobby, but yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it was ninth edition when they came out, and I picked up the codex because I I genuinely thought it was an interesting take on squats and how they introduced them into there with the whole ancestor cards. I really liked it. I'm hoping we're gonna get more information around where they've been, what they've been doing. Are they good? Are they bad? What's going on with the AIs? Are they all actually AIs if they're clones? I don't know. So there's a lot of questions in there that I'm looking forward to hopefully hearing some more elaboration on. Not necessarily answers, but I think
Yeah.
there's some stuff that's going to be good. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't really think about it too much, but one of the guys in the Discord, I forget who it was, so apologies. They made a comment similar to you, didn't expect it, but then when you think about it, it makes absolute sense why they're sort of included within this framework and within the Maelstrom, I guess. So that'll be really interested to see. And again, like you said about the Eldar, it's good for fans and players of that faction just to see it getting a little bit more attention. Same with Drakari as well. I think they haven't had anything new for quite a while either, have they?
Drakari.
Yeah.
No, they only got that. They got a model, didn't they, when the codex dropped?
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
like a new named character. I can't
All right.
remember.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, it's good to see that it's not just Ultramarines.
Absolutely, and I was surprised that this got shown so early, to be honest. I was expecting
Yeah.
I mean, I can get it now in the scope of how much they've got sorry, how much time they've got left before 11th edition drops, and I think we've got 6 of these to get through. Is it 5 or 6? I wanna say 6.
Yeah, I think
And,
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we're probably gonna get all of them, like 1 a month realistically, if you think about it now,
Yeah.
if we're in January.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing they're gonna want a full month before 11th edition launches. So there's some value in the book,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, we will. Okay, cool. Do you have anything else to say about the first lot? That was the first sort of 40K things before they moved on to AOS.
I don't think so. I
No?
don't think so. I was expecting to see a Warlord, sorry, Warhound Titan or a
Oh,
Primarch, neither
I
of which happened. So
I was expecting to see Grey Knights because, man, they were teasing Grey Knights artwork the day of that release show, and I got excited. I was in the Discord getting excited, and I even said in there, "I'm not gonna get myself excited because 'cause I'll be let down." And I got myself excited and I was let down, but it's gotta be coming at some point, right?
it's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's 100% gotta be.
Yeah. Anyway, go listen to our episode on the Terminus degree if you wanna hear me talk about Grey Knights. That's not what we're here for today. So yeah, after that then, after the sort of when they kicked us off with the Maelstrom and all the models for that side of things, they showed us some AOS stuff quite early on, which was really good. You guys know we love AOS, but first thing I want to say is they rushed through the AOS stuff, I think.
They really
They
did.
really did. It felt like they just had to get it out of the way. They didn't even mention the spearhead boxes at all, which was a surprise because there are new spearhead boxes, but what they did do, first off, sorry, they showed us a new RC Art Bone Reapers.
They did.
Yeah. What did you think?
Hmm. There's I'm not a massive fan of the Bone Reapers. And again, I think it comes down to the sculpts looking a little bit dated.
Mm.
Even the newer ones, I don't like the weighting of them. And again, I think this may be the paint job as well, because the chariot, now that I've had a chance to look at it a little bit more closely, I think would look much better with a different style of paint job. So my initial take on them all was I'm not there for any of them other than are they called the Reapers?
I have
Um
the Mortis Reapers.
yes, the
Yeah,
Mortis Reapers.
they're the ones that said were like hero killers, didn't they?
Yeah, they so those look like
Just
they're done by a newer sculptor. The style looks different to the other stuff that they've shown, to
yeah,
me at least.
bear with me. I've just like a moron closed down the tab that I was looking at the pictures of them. So let me get that back up. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I like the lore of the Bone Reapers. I really like the lore, but yeah, the models just aren't what I imagine in my head. To be honest, I immediately thought a couple of daft things about them. The Liege Mortec, I saw that and I thought that is Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and
I can see that, man.
yeah, nobody's going to convince me otherwise. That is Shredder. Um, yeah. Um, One thing though that I am excited about, and I haven't spoken to you about this yet because I wanted to keep this. So, the Heralds of the Bone Tithe Regiment of Renown. I
Okay.
think I'm gonna buy that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for my Path to Glory force because it's gonna give me some additional magic for my melee heavy Nighthaunt and just
That's a really good shout, is that?
add a
Yeah, yeah.
little bit of character. And I think because I want to do something different, I'll probably do a bit of a wacky paint job and maybe make them look a bit darker, tie them in with my Nighthaunt. That's immediately what I started thinking when I saw that. So that's what I'm excited about more than anything from these guys. But yeah, on the whole, I'm not too I'm not in love with them by any means, but I'm excited about the Regiment of Renown and how that might work in my Path to Glory force. Just to have something a little bit different,
Uh-huh.
make it pop out on the table a little bit more, do something a little bit different with a paint job, probably put our heads together and, get your advice and, see what we can come up with and think of a really cool sort of thematic lore reason why they're there. But yeah, I thought I'm trying to think a little bit more. I don't want to say I'm trying to think tactically because, I'm not that gamey, but I just thought it'd be cool just to have a little bit of flavor in my army. But what do you think to that?
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
that's what I was most excited about, strangely, from this whole release, that Regiment of Renown. Just thinking of
see,
the potential, really.
that Regiment of Renown is really interesting because they're all pretty old sculpts, I think, aren't
Yeah, I believe they
they?
are, but I think it was more just the way they were describing it and thinking, now I've got
Yeah.
a frame of reference, I think. I can think, "Oh, that'll fit in with what I currently do, and I can make use of that because let's face it, I'm gonna need some more magic to go up against your guys, and that kind of adds, something a little different because I'm not a big fan of the sculpts of a couple of the casters for the Nighthaunt, and that kind of gives me another
Sure.
option without having to, proxy or convert. It's just there and it's ready, and yeah, it'd be a nice little break from painting ghosts as well.
I do think my major dislike of this particular faction is the paint job.
Yeah.
So I don't think the paint job works at all in favor of the sculpt. But
No, I'd agree with that.
yeah, I think your idea of using that as a to bolster your force is a really good idea, and that caster dude is pretty cool. To be fair,
Yeah, the caster is nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too big a fan of the, what are the four-armed big guys called? Can't remember. You know what I mean?
Mortec guard or
Yes.
something.
More tech card, yeah, but I think, maybe with a little bit tweaking, maybe a little bit of repositioning, bit of conversion, slight bit of kit bash and a bit of a wacky paint job, I think I could make something of that.
Yeah, do it,
Yeah,
do it. I think that's a really good idea.
yeah.
I'm I'm honestly like aghast at those Mortis Reapers. I think they're some of the best sculpts to come out in ages.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude, I really
Okay.
really like them. Like really like them a lot.
I could,
I can see
I like
like
them.
them being used as conversions for vampires. To be honest, because
Yeah, I
a
see
lot of
that.
the
Yeah.
especially the guy that do you know like he looks like he's dashing to the side
Mm.
and
Yeah, I'm
he's
looking
got
at
like
him
the
now.
cowl over it. All I can see is and I don't know if you ever played Legacy of Kain,
I
Soul Reaver.
Nope, I didn't.
Reminds me of Raziel from the main character from that, if it had some black hair.
I'll
See,
ta I'll
like, if he
take
painted his cape thing blue, it's Raziel.
I'll take your word for it. I'll look it up after this. But,
100%, but yeah, those are so much more interesting. I mean, they just look completely different to the other Bone Reapers, and I think if they looked more like this and had this sort of proportions, it'd be a whole different ballgame. I genuinely would be interested in them. So I
yeah.
think these just look great. I really think they've hit a home run with these
Mm.
to the point where they just stand out so much from the rest of the army. It's it's weird. I mean, I can see why they've done it because I think the the what they call the death rattle skeletons when they released them with Curse City. I think that was symptomatic of doing something that was skeletal, but looked like it was skeletal. They were really, really delicate, really fragile. Nighthaunt had the same issue when they first came out. Whereas you look at these Bone Reapers with the bow and arrows and stuff, it like they really do look hench. They look too thick. But then again,
Yeah.
is that lore accurate? I think it is because they're made from bones, not
Yeah.
from the bones of. They're made from bones and then reconstituted. So there's nothing
Yeah.
to say that like a
Amalgamation
forearm
of
is a femur.
bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
it's just
particularly like
it doesn't
them.
work for me.
I don't particularly like the archers, but I do like the balefire braziers. I really like them. I like how they've gone as far as to put, screaming faces in the flames. I like that. That's a nice little touch. But there's something about them bowmen, and I can't put my finger on what it is, but I have a very strong dislike for them. I don't know if it's the paint job, don't know if it's the sculpt, but the bows look too chunky. It looks like old world.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the other thing, and this is not necessarily symptomatic of these new models that they've been released. I think this is the aesthetic of the army for me. I think it's quite a mishmash of. I'm really struggling to speak today. I think it's quite a mishmash of too many aesthetics. So in some respects, it's got like this Greco-Roman vibe to it, and then on the other side, it's got like this Asian influence with like the almost
Yeah, yeah.
samurai like armors, and then it's got almost like this Mongolian kind of like look to some of the faces. It's like, which one of these things are you supposed to be invoking?
Yeah.
Is it one of
Lean
them?
into
Is it
one.
all of them?
I get
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
if it's a mashup of all of these things, perhaps it needed a little bit more refinement to have it coalesce into something that was like a specific aesthetic that read as a different faction rather than having all of these pieces. Is it supposed to be? perhaps then indicative of all of the different types of cultures that exist in the mortal realms, all paying the bone tithe and then pulling it together. I don't know.
Oh, that would
Um,
make sense though, actually, now
it,
you said it, yeah.
but I don't recall that from the lore that I've read. Granted, I did speed read those battle tomes, but I don't know. And then when you look at the paint job, especially on the new chariot, so there's some elements that like on those horses, how it's got the skulls on the inside that take it straight back to the nightmare steeds and the sorry, not the nightmare steeds, the abyssal steeds that Arkan the Black and
Yeah.
Neferata and Manfred. I think that in fact that's included in the Battle Force box, isn't it? Arkan the Black leads that. So
Yes, that's the, Null Myriad Phalanx, the Army of Renown. Yeah, it's Arkham the
that's it.
Black's dude, isn't it?
So I wouldn't like I like the timings there to that older model, and the paint job is very, very similar to that. It looks like they've actually repainted that Abyssal Steed to match that. But I don't know, it just doesn't work. I think it's the combination of this mashup of
It's too
different
too
styles.
eclectic, isn't it?
Yeah, because then when you look at
Yeah.
Ark in the Black, it's like Egyptian.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I mean, even the name kind of evokes like Egyptian vibes to it. So there's too much. And then yeah, it really it just doesn't work for me. There's
Yeah,
too many different things going on all at once.
yeah, yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm excited about is, as I say, the, addition of the, Regiment of Renown, for my Path to
Sure.
Glory guys. That'll be the only thing I get from them, you know. I'm not particularly interested in the models, which is a shame because I do like the lore behind them. It's just not it's not how I imagine them, but, you know, people like them. A lot of people will be happy, and it'll be good to see people's paint jobs, as you say, you know, it'd be good to see them in the community, and it's good to see another spearhead, and, you know, it's it's nice to see that still being supported, so I'm there for that, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And the cover to the battle tome ain't atrocious, which is good.
It's got Shredder on it, hasn't
It does have Shredder on the front of it.
it? Yeah. Cool.
We'll see how that works.
Mm. Alright, cool. What was next then? Zinch, wasn't it? Yeah,
It
Disciples of
was indeed.
Zinch.
It was Elves and Zinch.
Mm. So, I got Zinch first. Alright, Fate Master. What do you think to the Fate Master?
Like the model,
Do
like it a lot.
you?
Yeah, yeah. I don't hate that.
I thought it was super boring, personally.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, just don't do anything for me.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. I look at it and I don't think there's anything particularly remarkable about it. It looks like it could be from any generic fantasy tabletop sort of mage or general. It doesn't even scream Warhammer to me, that sculpt. It looks like it could be from anything. Just yeah, it's really unremarkable for me.
Now you've mentioned it to me, I do. I'm just thinking this feels like exactly what's happened with Darkwater, and it's just going very boring and back to Old World, which is everything. How you just described this model is how I feel about Old World. But
Yeah.
let's yeah, let's let's not touch on that. I really liked this. I thought this was an interesting sculpt. I thought this paint job was really good.
The paint job's good, yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at it a little bit more closely now. I don't know. There's nothing about it that interests me. I don't know how else to put it. It's just not for me, I guess. I find it quite bland.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I think that's I think Zinch of all of the models in Warhammer 40K or AOS is one of the most polarizing in terms of aesthetic.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just on one side of that, you know, maybe I'm on the side that doesn't particularly like it, but that being said, I do like the terrain. Really like that terrain.
Yeah, I think you like yeah, well, yeah, you like it. See, I'm not a fan of this. I don't dislike it. Again, I think the paint job it doesn't do it justice, but
No, I
yeah,
really
it's
like
just
that.
a bit boring.
Yeah, I mean that to me was the best thing, you know, out of the 2 things that were released, that was a nicer one, but I was surprised at how big it is as well. when you see it to scale, it's huge.
Is it?
Yeah. I thought you
I
were gonna
wasn't gonna make
interject
any
with a
jokes.
childish remark
I
there.
am I am not that childish.
I know you too well. But, no, I really like that, and, I think the guys made a good point. I forget their names every time, the guys that present them, but,
But no, no.
yeah, Burn Ernie, that's what we'll call 'em. They made the point, you quite happily use that in 40K as well, couldn't you? And I think I like that, it's got that sort of commonality, that shared theme where you can use it between. Yeah, I just think it's a nice bit of scenery, to be honest. I like the variant with all the different eyes inside it. Again, we're gonna mention Soul Calibur for the 3rd time in 2 episodes. It's very reminiscent of Soul Calibur for me. That sword with the eyes in it.
I know
Yeah,
exactly what Soul Calibur is, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, yeah, I
It's
don't
the
really know.
eyes, isn't it? It's
It is
just
the
the eyes,
eyes.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I'm not a fan of Zinch, to be honest. Yeah, what do you think? Sorry, I feel like I'm being a bit negative about AOS, which is the game that I profess to love more than anything, but just these aren't my factions.
I'm not saying and you can't like anything, everything, can you? But, oh,
Can't like anything.
assumingly you can't like anything anymore, dude. No, I'm the same. This it isn't a faction that I'm overly interested in.
No.
Yes, I liked the Fate Weaver, Fate Master, sorry.
Mm.
Um, I think that's a really good model. I'd enjoy painting it, I think. Everything else that they showed there, the Battle Tome cover, as you might expect, I despise. I particularly hate this character anyway, 'cause it's just annoys me.
Yeah.
And yeah, the battle force and such they showed and Spearhead, I can't help but think they're getting rid of old stock of models.
Yeah, I think that I think that's a fair point. It looks like they are to me. And you know what? It's a good way of doing it. And if it makes Zinch players happy that it gives them a new spearhead to play with, or it's a way that somebody can get into the army, then go for it. It's just now a thing, is it?
Absolutely. So let's move on then to the Lumineth Realm Lords,
Hmm.
Venari Lord Regent.
Binary Lord Regent or Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth. You decide. That's the first thing I thought of. But
I mean, there's more than a couple of similarities, isn't there?
yeah, I like it, to be honest. I do like this. I'm no real fan of Lumineth, but I do like that model and I like the look of that spearhead. Not saying that I'm gonna buy it, but had this been out when I first got back into Warhammer, I might have thought about it. Do like it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I don't know too much about Lumineth lore-wise apart from, the very obvious, but I look at that now and think I'd enjoy painting it. Like, I'd enjoy painting that, Venari Lord Regent, I think. Now I'm not frightened to death about looking at a model like that and painting it as I was a year ago. Yeah, I think it's you know exactly what it is when you look at it, and I like that from Warhammer. There's no ambiguity. I think it's got a lot of nice details. And it's good to see these guys getting a bit of love because they haven't had anything new for quite some time, have they?
No.
No,
No, they've not.
no. And I do like the look of that spearhead. I like the mix of cavalry and then what looks like a flyer, and you've got range weaponry with the big archer. And yeah, I can imagine that's a fun one to play with on face value because it looks like you've got a real mix of different speeds and different abilities in there.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I don't know much about Lumineth either because elves.
Yeah, you don't like them, do you?
Did you not know? I've not mentioned ever.
Never.
But yeah, some of the models in this are pretty cool. These weird kangaroo archers, I think, are hilarious. It's just like, I mean, kangaroos are absolutely like hench anyway, but like battle kangaroo are just even better. So I'm there for these. The dude on a cloud just looks like that guy from Monkey Magic from when I was a kid. He's just going to do that whole whistling thing, and a cloud's going to swoop down. The
I
Monkey
like
King
how
guy.
you
I
went
can't remember.
you went to the Monkey King. I thought of Goku on a cloud, which Goku was heavily influenced by that. So
Indeed, indeed, he was.
that's my 3rd
Uh,
anime reference tonight. What is
you've
going
been
on?
going in, haven't you? You're
Yeah,
all in on the anime references.
yeah. That one was accidental, but Yeah, I really like it's just got a lot of character, that spearhead, and I think that's we talked about this before, that's what I like about Warhammer. It
Mhm,
looks like it's got a lot of character, and I can imagine creating some cool stories and some of my own lore, creating my own paint job. Yeah,
mhm.
it's just got a lot of potential to me, that box. I'm not saying I'm gonna buy it. I'm 99.9% sure that I won't, but let's say, touch wood, this doesn't happen, my house gets burned down, all my Warhammer goes, I might think, "There you go, I'll buy that now." That would be the
I think
only
it's an interesting one.
yeah, I think that would be the
Can
only
see
reason I
you
would
getting
buy it.
into it.
Yeah, I think and I mean, maybe I shouldn't have gone with Fire Slayers when I did, but, if I had the chance, would I go for Lumineth? Probably not. Maybe, who knows? But again, actually, I will say this is I really wanted to see Fire Slayers, and I'm still waiting for Fire Slayers. We got elves, we got skeleton boys, we've had everything but really now, haven't we?
I think it'll be end of edition if we get 'em.
If we get them. Well, I mean, we saw that teaser, didn't we? But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I do like this archer guy who
Uh, who am I
I've
looking at?
seen that a couple of times and thought, "Yeah, that's a really good, conversion base or something." But I think there's a wet elf that's quite similar to that, isn't there?
Wet elf.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I think out of all the elves in AOS, I think they're the ones I would go for now. I did have a bit of love for Sylvaneth, um, once upon a time. I'm no big fan of the Wet Elves, as you call it, but I could see myself getting behind these guys in a different
Hmm,
in a different life.
that's fair. What do you
Yeah.
think of the Sigil Convocation, the Regiment of Renown?
I'm on the fence with that one. I feel like it looks a bit childish, but then I don't know if that's the paint job.
It's a paint job, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
a paint
think,
job.
I'd like to see that, there's that big crystal, the big sort of diamond looking thing. I think
Mhm.
you could make that look better than what it is on there. That just yeah. I
Yeah,
think
I'm
you
inclined to agree with you.
yeah, I think and I'm no professional painter by any means, but I feel like I could do a better job painting that, making it stand out more. I'm not saying, skill-wise, proficiency-wise, but I feel like I could have a go at making that look a bit more special.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Nah, I'm with you on that one.
yeah. I think again, I think it's got potential, but that paint job's not selling it to me, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. I
I
like
think
the, sorry, go on.
no, no, you go.
I like the idea behind it,
Mhm.
behind what the story is behind them and, it kinda makes sense as to why they look like that, but yeah, it's just the paint job's letting it down.
I think perhaps Games Workshop have boxed themselves. I was going to say painted themselves into a corner with no pun intended here, but feels like sometimes that their triumvirate painting style has kind of somewhat limited what they can show in terms of like
Yeah,
wanting to push something out, like 'cause they want to make it replicable by people, which I think it does achieve that goal, but it doesn't really make the sculpts stand out to the level that they could do. Again,
yeah. Doesn't
somebody like
showcase
Elminster or, um,
I think
any of
just
the other.
I would just say anybody that has different painting technique that doesn't use that triumvirate method that, you know, does different things could make that look better. Yeah. Cool. Well, that was the AOS stuff, unless you've got anything else to add, sorry.
Cover of the battle tome looks all right. It's
Yeah, it's okay.
it it's better than the Flesh Eater Cards one.
I quite like the Flesh Eater Carts one,
You're
so
wrong, but that's okay.
I
It's
think it's okay.
atrocious.
This one doesn't really, it is what it is. Doesn't
Yeah,
stand
totally.
out, but I don't hate it. Yeah. I mean, I think we look at the books in a different way. I look at the battle tomes as a tool for playing, whereas you collect the books, to have them and to collect the set. And I
Sure.
think you look at them in a different way to me. But I mean that one looks nicer than the Nighthawk one. I would say. Not a fan of the Nighthawk one.
Nah, I like the Night Out one.
Mm,
It's subjective, isn't it?
it is. Yeah.
But yeah.
Hmm,
Shall
interesting.
we shall we touch on Blood Bowl, or are we just gonna
Um,
skip over?
did I make any notes about Blood Bowl?
I don't know.
Blood Bowl notes. Caledor Dragons, I put not for me. You would think as an NFL fan, I would be into Blood Bowl, but it's just never grabbed me. Um, no. I like seeing what people do with the paint jobs, but yeah, it's hard to get excited about it because it's yeah, just don't have any interest in it, to be honest. It's nice to see it getting attention for the people
Mm,
that do play it. A couple of guys in the Discord that talk about Blood Bowl. One of them has started playing, has bought some models with a view to playing in a league that's local to him, and it's been cool to see
okay.
that excitement from him. But yeah, it's just not for me. I don't know if there's a much of a scene for Blood Bowl near us, but it's not something I see in the wild very often.
No, I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually playing it, but some
Mm.
of the models are cool. I've got to admit, I do like the star player. Is it the star player? The blue dude
Yes,
for
yeah,
the
I think
yeah.
so.
So
Yeah,
I would take that model and then convert it into a vampire lord,
yeah,
running forward with double swords,
yeah.
one sword and an
I
axe.
do like some of the dwarf Blood Bowl models, but again, same as you, just for the purposes of conversions, really. And I remember they had some. I think they still do actually Chaos Dwarfs, don't they? That are very reminiscent of the old Chaos Dwarfs. So I guess you could
Yes.
probably do something
Yeah.
like that, with your Hellsmiths of Hashut or that kind of thing. But yeah, I, I'm not in a rush to get into Blood Bowl. Let's face it.
No.
Yeah,
No. Sam. I do not care.
cool. Should we move on from Blood Bowl?
Let's move on from Blood Bowl. We don't have much to say about. We don't know much.
Cool. So the next thing that we were shown was
Mm.
the new 40k animation.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can't remember what it was called. I didn't write it down.
Penitence.
Penitence. That's right. I did write it down actually. Sisters versus Orcs. What do you think?
Interest in the sisters, less interest in the orcs, but I think it looks
Mm.
really good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'll definitely give this a watch. Did they say Order of the Sacred Rose?
It is indeed.
Yeah, and Snake by Orcs, I
Mhm.
think. And they did confirm Squig as well. There will be a Squig.
There will 100% be a squig. I have to say, one of the things that really stood out to me about this when I saw it was, A, I was surprised, and B, the quality of the rendering over some of the previous stuff we've seen felt much, much, much better.
Yeah.
I was really, really taken aback by it. I was like, "Okay, yeah, this looks good."
Yeah, I thought the sound quality seemed really good as well, even though it was through YouTube and, we were just seeing a clip. It sounded good. The voice acting seemed good from what we, heard.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Did they say it starts in February? Lands in February?
Did they?
I think. I might have made that up, but I think they did. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
I will 100% be watching it if it starts in February. I might like, is it coming? I'm guessing it's coming episodically, isn't it? So,
I don't know actually. I didn't make a note of if they mentioned it or not, but
oh, right. Sorry, I was just having a quick look. Yep, episode one of Penitence will be landing next month. So yeah, February.
absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, I was too sort of taken aback by the all the blood spatters on the pristine white armor. That was
Yeah,
really
right.
cool. I mean, that's what Warhammer 40k should be. It's nice to
100%, mate.
yeah, it's nice to see that grim look, but I do like Sisters of Battle, and it's good to see them getting a bit of attention. I feel like that's something I've been saying quite a lot tonight, but yeah, I'm excited for it. It's nice to see something different from Space Marines all the time, isn't it? So yeah,
It really is. I mean,
yeah,
we were talking about it the other day, weren't we? Because I was talking about the Repentia. I quite
yes,
fancied
yeah,
paintings
yeah.
just for funsies. Annoyingly, I had the Battle Force box that I won in a raffle, and then I sold it earlier this year.
I remember when you sold
But
that. Yeah,
it went to a good home. Somebody was going to play with it rather than it just sit in a cupboard. But I do like some of the ideas behind the sisters. I think it's that heavy leaning into the religious element and like the overlap there with my interest in Catholicism and how like all of that kind of works together
yeah,
with this zealotical belief in something, and that just the overall like absolute metal aesthetic of
yeah,
it's just like that rhino with the frigging organ on the top of it. I'm just like,
yeah.
that is so
It's
bloody
cool.
badass of it. Come on.
It's that gothic, yeah, the gothic religious vibe. I like it. Yeah, maybe it's because I was brought up in a kind of Catholic family. I don't know, maybe that's why I lean towards it, I'm not sure. But, yeah, it's just something I'm excited for, it's another form of media. It's nice to see 40k doing things like this. yeah, I hope it lives up to that trailer. I can't imagine that it won't. So yeah, I'm excited, and I think there's some other stuff that I'm looking forward to this year that they've teased. On the app. I forget what it's called. Sorry, been a long day. Keep saying that. Warhammer Plus. So yeah, if that's the first step towards a bit more video content, then it looks like all signs are positive.
Yeah, it feels like we're getting back on the wagon with stuff now, and I'm not
Mm.
complaining. I mean, I know it's another expense, but you know, it's
I think
it's
it's
not too
worth it
bad for what I
personally.
get out of it
Yeah,
personally. So yeah, I'll take some more animations.
yeah, me too. Okay, so next we're on to 30K. So
Mhm.
this was big reveal, I guess. I would say kind of unexpected. I didn't see this one come in. Custodes.
Indeed, yeah, yes. I wasn't expecting custodians. I mean, they've been kind of hinted at, haven't they, for a couple of months now, I suppose, with bits and pieces.
Hmm.
But overall, I'm there for this. I
Yeah,
think it's about time we got some new sculpts. My concern about these, and I don't know because I've not seen them next to they did mention you can use these in 40K as well.
yeah, they did.
It's like, what is the scale like?
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because, to say that you can use them in 40K as well, you would think that, well, the general trend at the moment seems to be that 30K is being slowly upscaled, doesn't it? So that kind of goes along with that. But thematically, these guys and girls are bigger anyway, aren't they? They are slightly
Yes,
taller. So, they do need to be more imposing on the tabletop because there's less of them. So I think that works. That's on brand for me. But honestly, some of these sculpts, I think, are some of the nicest sculpts we've had in a long time.
really?
Yeah, I really do. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I can't remember if they made a point of this, but I made a note to say, I think even as a very limited painter or a new painter, you could make them look very good and be very proud of that and to have them look very good on the tabletop. Yeah, I don't think it'll be something that I buy, um, but I would quite like to for the fun of painting. That's I think I
Mm,
could make them look good, and I think that's what a lot of other people might think. Because you know, I don't profess to be the best painter in the world, but I look at them and think, "Do you know what? I reckon I could make them look really good." And,
yeah,
that's half the fun for me, but, yeah, I'm super happy with the sculpts, and I think a lot of people are gonna be happy with them because I think they needed an update, didn't they? And it's nice to see them, in plastic. Yeah,
it totally is.
yeah.
I think the sculpts that we've got are really interesting. I would have perhaps liked to have seen, and I don't know if this is just the start of a range refresh. I would have liked to have had a little bit more dynamicism in the poses. They are quite up and down.
Yeah, but I think personally, I like that about these guys because I kind of see them as quite stoic, almost,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, like guards, and I guess that kind of leads into the law. I know they are very much capable fighters, I think that's understatement of the century, but I think they have that sort of regal air where I imagine they would be sort of standing to attention and holding themselves with, quite a lot of grace. And I think that just kind of, makes them look proud. I think that might be intentional.
Yeah, you might be right, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. Everything you said there, I have to agree with. And there's nothing stopping you doing some reposing, I suppose. But it would be nice to have a little bit more variety. But I think as well that might come further down the line with a little bit of an expanded release there. But it's good to see what we've got. I mean, I think the Dreadnought looks really good as well, to be honest.
Ah, that Contemptor Dreadnought, honestly, I mean, how much I love Contemptor Dreadnoughts. We were speaking about them in the last episode. I think that could be my favorite Dreadnought ever. I really do. I mean, I look at that and I say I'm drooling looking at that. It's incredible. Like I really like it.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah, I think I love the range of movement that you can get with them. It kind of goes against, what we just said about the Custodes, but if you think they look a bit stoic, you could make that Dreadnought, you could pose that really well and make him look like he's doing something wacky or running or whatever, couldn't you?
You really could.
Yeah, and maybe
I
that's
think it's
the trade-off, I guess.
I mean, there is a number of things you could do. I mean, I love how he's got the weapon options or he, they, whatever you refer to a dreadnought as. It just looks so cool. My only criticism, and this is just of this particular pattern, is it just looks like a really hench Terminator, which isn't a bad thing at all.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
cool as hell.
It does.
But it's also it just looks almost too cool to the point where I want an entire army of these guys because they just look so much better than everything else.
I mean, I think I look at that and I see scope for I mean, this might be wishful thinking. Like, imagine that with a bit of conversion could be a really cool Grey Knight Terminator.
Grey Knight,
Yeah,
100%. It's a Dread Knight right there, isn't
yeah,
it? So
it
it's
is,
just an
yeah.
absolute badass.
I mean, I think there's so much potential there, but I mean, I could talk about that Dreadnought all day, but I won't. But I mean, I could. I won't. Definitely won't. Let's move on from the Dreadnought before I start gushing even more. But yeah, I mean,
E
there was there was quite a lot there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
This
The Shield Captain looks cool.
yeah, Shield Captain, very good. What else was there? The Sodality, is that what they're called?
He's got the flyer ones.
Mm, can't remember. Yes. No, that's
I
the Venatari Sodality. They look like sanguinary guards on steroids, and I like that.
Yeah, I really liked these. I thought they looked absolutely fantastic. I thought these looked better than the other ones. Like,
Yeah, they absolutely do.
really liked these.
Yeah, they're super cool, and I guess you get more of a sense of movement from them as well.
Yeah, you
Thinking
do.
on your
You
point.
know, I actually prefer the armor on these with them having like the material on the legs and the upper arms.
Mm,
It just it breaks up that swathe of gold,
it
and
does,
the
yeah.
backpacks just look cool.
Yeah, they
I
do.
can imagine I can imagine these looking. I don't know how they'd fit in, but I imagine them kind of working in the Dreadwing for some reason for Dark Angel. I just
Oh,
think it'd be
yeah,
cool.
I could see that,
Or
yeah.
even I'd take some of them and make them into prosecutors for Stormcast if I was going to do those again.
That's a good shot. Yeah, didn't think of that. But, yeah, I think they're really nice. They're very eye-catching, aren't they?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I think they're some of the standouts from that range for me. I think I like the look of that lighter armor, as you said,
Mhm.
having a bit of fabric to break it up, and, that tells a tale a bit, doesn't it? That it makes sense why they're lighter armored and they look dangerous because of it. Yeah, I think it's yeah. If this is the direction that some of the newer sculpts are going, then I think we're in, for some good models going forward. But I don't know if I mean, I don't think we're gonna get anything new from the Custodies for a while, but, to see him get this much attention and get some really nice sculpts, I'm happy about it. I love the lore for the Custodies, I really do, and these look how I imagine them because the older ones are boxy, a bit blocky,
Mhm.
and these guys
Yeah,
they look dangerous.
they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can totally get behind that. I'm really happy with these to be honest. I'm happy that they've finally got a bit of love. I would like to see the range expanded a little bit more. Obviously, I know that they're a popular faction. People like them. I can see why they look great, and it's a small unit count army. Um, that coupled with the tank as well, I thought was very cool.
Did you like
I
the
believe
tank?
the yeah, I like the tank a lot. I
Yeah.
like the was the previous version Forge World? Was it a resin
I think it
one?
was, yeah.
Yeah, these look cool.
Is it
So they
Caladius?
had like a
Yeah.
bike as well, didn't they? Like a jet bike that looked badass.
Yeah, they did have that jetpack. Yeah. Yeah,
So all of this looks really cool. I'm probably even going to pick up the Liber Custodes as well, because I do have some of the
I
heresy
was
books.
I was tempted with that one. I don't, and I thought that might be a good first one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think, I'm really interested in, the heresy or lore side of things, as we know, and yeah, I think that'd just be a really nice book to have, a really cool book to read. So, yeah, we're on the same wavelength there for 2 different reasons, but yeah, it's I kinda wanted to see a new, Constantine Valdor or something like that, but, you know, can't have everything, can you?
I'm sure in time we'll get it.
Yeah, Yeah, you're absolutely right, and, you could probably do a conversion from some of the stuff there if you really wanted a newer version, but, yeah, I think if you're a Custodes player or a Custodes fan or you wanted to start playing with that faction, this is giving a lot of people, a lot of reasons to put their hand in the pocket.
I wonder if they're really gonna start pushing these in 40K as well,
Do you
rather than
think?
just
Because
saying you can use them in 40K, or whether they're gonna try and phase out Custodes from 40K and keep them firmly entrenched in the 30K setting. I don't know. That's kind of how it felt, but I might be just reading too much into it.
well, if that is the case, um, wipe them out from 40K. Maybe they go up against the Grey Knights and they lose.
Ooh, I
Well,
like it a lot, dude.
yeah, you never know. But this is a conversation we've already had.
It is.
Yeah,
It
go
is.
go back
Let's
and
not
listen to it.
revisit it right now, but
The episode is called "Sit Down, Daddy." Go check it out if you haven't yet. It was a good one. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about the Custodes?
I don't think so.
No,
No, I'm happy to see them there.
cool.
Wasn't expected.
No,
Yeah,
completely unexpected,
overall
but
pretty cool.
yeah. All right. So next up, we had some of the Astarte stuff, didn't we? We had the Glaive Super Heavy Special Weapons Tank. I think I got that in the right order.
Yes.
Which is a fell blade with a big boy Volkite gun, if I'm not mistaken.
It is definitely a grown up gun on that bad boy, innit?
Oh, it
You know,
is. Yeah.
it is that's that is just some guns with treads.
Yeah. Do you like it?
But what's not to like about that? I mean, it's
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's a massive tank. I think I prefer the Whirlwind though, the smaller one.
the whirlwind underneath, the new one.
Yeah, the Whirlwind missile tank. I really like that. I think that's. I think that's. I don't know. As tanks
Okay.
go, I prefer that. I prefer the smaller tanks. And
Okay.
I really like the boxy
Mm.
look. I really like that. The bit on the front, it makes it look like a it's definitely got World War One,
Yeah.
tank vibe, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it totally
Yeah,
does.
and I like that. And I know you're not a big fan of, grounding your fantasy warfare in reality, but yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about 'em. Tanks. We like tanks. Everyone likes tanks.
You can't not like it. I'm not a massive fan of the Rhino chassis, to be honest. So, I mean, it does note for me. I'd take the missile pod off of it, and I would put on the glaive super heavy. I just sort of like it's got space. There's a
Yeah,
couple of panels there that don't have guns attached to it. Bang it
yeah.
on, jobs are good.
Make it an absolute juggernaut even more than it already is. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't think there's much else for me to say about them. It's a couple of tanks. Pretty cool.
I am happy that we are seeing the 30K being given some love in some of
Hmm.
these rarer variant pattern tanks. And
Yeah,
that being the place, whereas if you want to have these large scale battles, you can do it, and them getting models that are as detailed as the 40K kits,
yeah,
in that era of stuff. I think that is genuinely good for people that want to be in there, and it's fantastic for folk like myself that aren't necessarily interested in playing that game, collecting those models, to be able to see them, because I do like to look at them. They do look cool.
yeah. Completely agree with that. It's nice now. At first, I thought 30K seemed like it was a little bit of an afterthought, but now it seems like there's quite a lot of focus on it. From what I hear, the game is very playable. People enjoy it, and it's good to see so many different things being supported within Games Workshop, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
Cool. Well, next up, I suppose it was the final bit, wasn't it? It was the teaser.
It was, yeah.
What did you think?
Hmm. I mean, there's a lot there, isn't there? I know we saw the leak.
Well, my initial thought was that they put this together very quickly because of that leak.
Yeah, there's a lot of very similar bits on this to what was shown in said leak.
Yeah. I mean,
The hammer in particular.
yeah, I think everybody probably knows about the leak that we're talking about. I mean, do we think it was fake? Does it look like AI?
I don't know. There was a quite a lot of debate around it, wasn't there? That
I mean, if it's
that's not how they deal with the disposal of packaging now, or
if it
some of
is,
the things around it. I mean, if it is real, it's a very boring model.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's real, it's crap as far as I'm concerned, but, it doesn't do the character justice if it is a leak, we're not gonna overtly say what it was in case, people haven't seen it or, if it turns out to be real, I guess. Is that fair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
After my
for
rant
this
about leaks last time.
exactly.
But sorry.
For this particular tease, what do we think it's teasing? Do we think this is teasing one single character?
No, I don't think so. I think it might be teasing a bit of a mix. You made a really good point a couple of episodes ago when after you'd read the what was that book you read before Christmas?
I can't remember.
I know the mm,
Mhm.
the the call book, not
Oh,
Gene Carter.
not the great work, the new one,
Yeah, the new
Archmagos.
Archmagos, that's the one. Yeah, you were saying there was a lot of stuff about the chaos engines and stuff in there,
Mhm.
weren't you? And I think you said something about are we going to get some new variants on that? That kit definitely needed updating. I
Yeah.
think some of the pictures and in that video, whatever that we saw, it kind of leans towards that for me.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that there actually, and put that together. But there's one of the pictures on Warcom of the engine spouts at the back that could very much be a Forge Fiend or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think so. And I think there was one that there was a big sort of claw as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, there is.
and that kind of looked like that for me. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm no lover of the Iron Warriors by any means, but it's very overt. So that's what's coming, isn't it? I think it's fair to say we've seen their logo, and you know, there's a lot of interesting things to unpack there because there was that icon with the broken Cadian gate as well, wasn't there?
There was indeed.
Yeah, there's a. I mean, we don't know what parts the miniatures belong to, but we know that they're going to be Iron Warriors. That's plain to see for everybody. So that'll be interesting to see how they interact with the law if it progresses. The 40K setting along a bit. Give us why they're coming back in what seems to be in full force. You know, what's our old mate Turbo Peter getting up to? Why is he coming back? It's exciting, isn't it, to progress the narrative more than anything? Because I don't think I'll be buying any new models for the Iron Warriors, but I'm excited to see where it goes in the law terms.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it feels like this is really going to lead into some of the stuff that's happening in the 500 worlds,
Mhm.
and specifically, I wonder if there's going to be some crossplay between the Iron Warriors and Vashtar. There seems to be a synergy there, and
Yeah,
perhaps also with the Dark Mechanicum if they're going down that road as well. There really does seem to be like that. That triumvirate does
it makes
feel like
sense.
it works, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
it does.
Rather than perhaps having a whole new faction introduced to support Vashtar,
Mm,
it's almost like that melting pot of different factions that have this through line that pulls them all together.
completely agree. Yeah,
I would like to see Turbo Peter come back as a demon Primarch, and for some reason, I don't know where it's come from. He's got spider legs.
like Sarpedon of the Soul Drinkers.
Yes.
Yeah, his legs weren't mechanical though, were they? Were they mechanical? Can't remember. But
Is it?
he had spider legs, didn't he?
I don't know if they would do it with him, but it almost is it a Defiler? The
Uh,
Defiler got the spidery legs because that kit's been pulled down it. Has it? Am I
uh,
talking crap?
I don't
Feel
know.
like it's being pulled. I feel like it's definitely being pulled.
Well, that'd make sense, if they're teasing a new one. But I don't know if it's been pulled or not. I'll let you tell me if that is the case.
oh,
I
online only.
online only. I can't see Perturabo coming back with spider legs. I would like to see it, but I don't know. I can't imagine it. I think that might be why I can't imagine it happening.
One of
But
the one of the one of the pictures here definitely is a Is it spider leg? I'm
Mm,
sure it is.
you think?
Have I made this up as well? I might be talking absolute crap.
I can't see any spider legs. Has this been a fever
Me
dream?
me neither. Just don't listen to me. I'm sure there was a hazard striped looked like a hazard striped shin pad for it with the spider's leg, but clearly I'm wrong.
Mm, there's one where it's got like a claw and the shin pad.
No, it's I'm sure I saw it something else, but whatever.
Whatever.
But it would be cool
Yeah,
if he came back as like a spidery thing.
yeah. Well, I think I reckon this is probably what we'll get in March because they said the next sort of reveal video will be, um, was it Adepticon in March?
I think
Yeah,
so.
so
It's, yeah, 'cause
there's
it's
a
twice a year is
yeah,
Adepticon, isn't it?
Adepticon in March, yeah, I've made a note of it. So, yeah, I think that might be the big release in March if we can maybe get something before then. Like you say, we've got 6
Mhm.
months to go through, you know, 6 releases. That you would think that'd be a big one, so maybe that's what we got to look forward to in a couple of months' time, but who knows? They we always think they're gonna do something, and then they pull the rug out from under us, and they give us something else, so who knows?
Exactly.
Cool. Well, I think that was it, unless I've missed anything. That's the notes that I've got. I was furiously writing notes while I was sat on the sofa watching it on my TV. Thankfully, Soph let me watch it in all its glory on the big telly. So,
You lucky lad.
yeah, I'd say thank you, but she's definitely not listening to this. But I really enjoyed watching it, though, to be fair. I was looking forward to it all day through work, and, I made sure that I had a nice beer with me and I got comfy and I sort of settled in for an hour and a half and yeah, it's good. I like to get excited by things like this. I won't dwell on it, but I mentioned it last time around where this is the kind of thing I want to get excited about. I like things to get released like this and to see it in all its glory rather than a grainy photo or that kind of thing online. I'd rather see it presented to me like this with somebody sort of telling me about it. Yeah, it's a nice sense of excitement. It's a bit of a celebration behind it. So, yeah, I enjoy the way they do the release shows.
Yeah, I was good that I can watch it. Definitely going to carve out time for the next one though. I really did enjoy it as well, and
Yeah.
it was fun watching it with you as well last time.
Yeah, the one
We did.
in
I did enjoy that, so we should try and do that perhaps for the next one.
that was November, wasn't it?
It was, man.
It feels like
Many months ago.
that feels like an age ago, but it
It does, doesn't it?
wasn't, was it?
Not that long ago.
That's when we got the Dark Water and the Nurgle stuff, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, we had a
It
good
was indeed.
yeah, well, I'll tell you, when we get a date for the next one, if we can get it lined up, we'll do something similar again.
Absolutely. Are we refreshed with food and drink?
Are we?
Are we?
I
Well,
am.
I'm refreshed with
Oh,
drink anyway. I haven't had any additional food since we recorded the last segment
no, I
a couple of
haven't.
minutes ago.
No, I have had a beverage though, which was very nice.
Was it a tasty beverage?
Pepsi Max, beverage of kings. You know me,
Oh,
creature of habit. I love this stuff. But
you do indeed.
while we're on the subject,
Hmm.
we have a new hot sauce that we tried.
We do.
Yeah, can you remember what it was without looking at your notes?
No,
it,
no.
it was
It was a
called
torchbearer, wasn't it?
yeah. So it was called Son of Zombie by Torchbearer. So you guys
That's
will
it.
know if you've listened to some of the older podcasts that we fell in love with a Torchbearer hot sauce before, and that one was called Honey Badger. That was a spicy honey mustard. So I thought we would try another one of theirs, and this one was called Son of Zombie. There is a link in the episode notes if you need to refresh your memory, Wayne. But yeah, did you like it?
It was all right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
all right.
it was just all right. It was tasty. I don't think it was as bitey as I expected it. It was
No.
fairly melting up and bitey zombie.
Yeah, very
But
good.
I didn't put two and two together and and get that. That was
Unintentional.
generally
Unintentional puns are the best.
that's it.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was unoffensive, I think.
Mm.
Middle of the road, note to our ornery, you know what I mean?
I think you're being, kind compared to what I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I was disappointed. Um,
Oh.
compared to Honey Badger, as I said by the same guys, this one was just okay. Fair amount of heat, but,
Mhm.
it was marketing itself with a lot of smokiness, but I just got garlic and a bit of a generic barbecue sauce flavor. It was okay, but yeah, a bit disappointed. I expected a little more, and I don't know if that's because I held that honey badger up on a pedestal, and I expected something as glorious as that. But,
Yeah.
it's I think it'll be fairly versatile. I have had it since, I will finish the bottle. It's not inedible by any means, it's okay. Just yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I'd got honey badger again, but that wouldn't have been as fun a conversation for this, I guess.
It wouldn't. Honey Badger is like top tier though, isn't it? I mean,
Top
let's be
tier.
honest, it
God
is.
God tier, I think as the kids
Yeah,
say.
there are none higher. It is like right up there in terms of super
Yeah.
tasty. But
I would
I don't
implore
know. I think
anyone to buy honey badger.
I think with this, I did like it. Like I say, from the tasty notes on it, I expected something of a more robust, smoky flavor to it, a background
Yeah.
tone to it, and I didn't really get that.
No, I think having had it again, I think it does say it's perfect for wings, strangely, but I reckon it might be better on like a beef burger or something like that. Something with that charred taste. It says pulled pork. I could imagine it working with pulled pork because there's a bit of sweetness. But yeah, I can imagine it working on on a good beef burger. But for wings, it's just okay. But I'll find something that it'll go on, I think. I can imagine it working in something strange. I don't know. I like a sweetness in my hot sauce. We know that probably more than you do, and I think
Mhm.
that didn't have as much sweetness as I expected because it does say a bit of sweetness. It was a bit garlic heavy and a bit. I think it's more suited to red meat than white meat. So yeah, we
I
need.
can see that actually.
Yeah, I think I might need to give it another chance on a different meal. But I mean, it's not going anywhere, and I will finish the bottle because I'm from Yorkshire, and that's what we do. I was brought up to not waste food. So yeah, it's it's good, it's decent, but wasn't blown away, and I think maybe I was expecting too much.
Yeah, yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah. I do still wanna
Definitely worth a
try.
go.
Sorry.
No, no, I would say it was worth a go, but
Yeah. I think I will try more of their sauces. I
mhm,
think I like their branding, uh, it's a bit of me, you know what I mean, with the cartoons and some of the names, it's quite horror focused. I like that. And it seems to be a cool brand. If you read there, go take a look. This we're not endorsed by them by any means. It's just our recommendation. But it sounds like it's a nice sort of family feel to that business, and they just wanted to do something cool, and they did, and it's taken off. So I can get behind that. But yeah, go and check these guys out. They're available in the UK. I think you can get them on Amazon if you really want to. I know a lot of people don't like Amazon at the moment, but that's a different conversation. But yeah, I would implore you to check these guys out and definitely Honey Badger. I cannot stress how nice that sauce is.
do you have any hot takes, Will?
Do you know what? I don't think I do this week. I feel like the last few hot takes I've had, I've been quite negative. So, and to be honest, there wasn't really much I could think of this time round. But what about you?
Um, I mean, the Nemesis Claw, I'm still not feeling. I thought I might come around to after a while, but yeah, I really, it just doesn't do it for me
No.
at all, doesn't that kill team? I thought it would, but I don't.
The
I just think it's
the
a
new
miss
one,
by G-dubs.
Nemesis Claw is the older one. Night Lord's one.
Is it?
Yeah, Nemesis Claw is the one
What's
that
the new
I
one
have.
called? What's
Uh,
the new one called?
do you know what?
Is it the Rapture one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Raptors. I don't know. I know it's a part of the Shadow Hunt box, but I don't know what the
It is.
individual unit is called, to be honest. But I know what you mean. Nemesis Claw is the one that I have for the Night Lords. But yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was a little bit underwhelmed by it as a Night Lords fan. I don't think I'm going to be in a rush to buy it at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I think what it is for me, and this may be more into the crux of the hot take. I think GW struggles with doing any flying poses because they've
Yeah,
got this obsession with attaching feet to bits of terrain and
yeah,
making them look
like the
less mobile than they should do. And I don't know what it is about it. It's just like it it breaks the immersion sometimes that everything is attached to a bit of terrain. It's like flight stands really aren't that bad if you're going to lean into it. Just go with it.
yeah.
We grown ups. We can deal with these models on a little bit of transparent plastic because
Let's
we don't have
yeah. I've
any other way of doing it.
I've got no no beef with flight stands by any means. I really don't. Yeah, I agree with that completely. What I don't like about the poses similar to you is that they always just seem to look really unnatural when they're,
Mhm.
jumping off a rock or landing on a rock. They just, yeah, doesn't do it for me. I'm completely with you there. I mean, not only that,
Yeah.
I just don't like that kit either, which is a shame because I really want to. Yeah, I'm with
Yeah,
you.
I wanted to really like the Kill Team stuff, and I do like Kill Team. I really like the aesthetic of it, the branding. I just think it really works well, but that box is just a miss for me, and I was originally quite excited. I thought, this may be the box that I get, but yeah, it's just not for me.
Okay.
So perhaps my hot take is more, I'm not offended by flight stands. I know some people hate flight stands, especially the Games Workshop ones. I don't hate Games Workshop flight stands. I don't hate flight stands in general. I'm pro flight stands, you might say. My stance is more flight stands, please.
That's a good hot take. Well, I'll tell you what then, while we're on this subject, I know
Yeah,
the hot take's done. What do you think to the, some of the Sisters of Battle that we're seeing in that Shadow Hunt box?
I think they're really, really cool. To
Yeah.
be honest, I think of the 40k factions, Sisters are probably one of the more interesting ones to me. I think we've got some really
Yeah.
interesting sculpts, and the stuff that is still coming out seems to be more interesting than I think a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, I
As
agree
we
with that.
talked about earlier with the Drakari and that, I think
Mm.
it feels like they're being more daring with Sisters.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, and I've always liked Sisters, to be honest. I mean, I remember when they first came out, and I really, really I really enjoyed how different they were to Space Marines, and I don't know if they were created as a foil for them, but I mean, I just think there's something really interesting about them, and we mentioned it when we were talking about the, new animation, that whole sort of, religious zealot vibe, but yeah, they just look cool, and they're one of them. They look like 40K, they really do. It's still got that
Right.
that gothic style, that grim dark aesthetic that we kind of lose in a bit with Primaris Marines. I think that still holds true to that vision of 40K for me.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, and I think there was an anniversary mini, wasn't it, that came out not so long ago. Um, is it one of the like a Mother Superior or something where it was based off of a piece of John Blanche artwork from
Yes.
the original one. So
Yes, I know what you mean, yeah.
I think you're absolutely right that the sisters definitely keep more true to that original intent of what 40k was.
Mm.
I think yeah they've had to tone down some of the like the sexual elements or the overly sexualized elements of it, like them wearing high heels and
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
whatever. But I get that, um, and I don't mind. But I think the diversity of the model range compared to, as you said, the sanitization that we're seeing more in Primaris, which I don't hate. I mean, I'm very pro Primaris. I think they look cool, personally. Obviously, with Mark 7 and Mark 8 helmets, but that's standard. That makes perfect sense to anybody that has taste. And but yeah, this is a battle, and to some extent, the Sisters' silence, perhaps,
Yeah, yeah. I think
just have something about them.
yeah, they do, I completely agree. I think it's straight I've never owned one. I've never bought any Sisters of Battle, but it's always something I toyed with the idea of, and I think once we start playing Kill Team, which we're still planning on doing this year, it might be something that I look to get if we look to branch out from our initial Kill Teams, just as an excuse to get some and paint some really. I really like how they look very easy to kit bash and to customize, and I like that idea. Yeah, that's something that I'm quite big on in the hobby itself, which we'll touch on in the hobby update actually, which we haven't yet done, but we'll get there. Yeah, I think I love the community paint jobs. Yeah, there's just a lot to like about them. I wanna learn a bit more about them actually. I used to I had one of their codices? Is that how you say it?
Mhm.
Yeah, codices way back in the day, and I remember devouring the lore in it. The iconography, the ones that had all the fleur de lis and the chalices. I really liked that gothic imagery, and yeah, it's something I could see myself getting immersed in again and reading some Black Library fiction about them because I haven't done for a long time. And then with the new animation that's coming out might give me a bit of a push to broaden my horizons in 40K a bit.
Do it, man. It sounds like you'd enjoy it.
I think so. Sorry, this is all just kind of coming off the dome a little bit to me as we're talking, but it's
Off the
off the
dome. You're
dome.
loving that term.
Yeah, I've started using it a lot more. I think I picked it up from you actually.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you say it? I don't know where.
No.
I've never. I've. I said it. I said it to Soph the other night. We sat in the living room, and I can't. I think we were doing a shopping list, and I said, "Can you think of anything off the dome?" We were, thinking about meal ideas, and she said, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Has it off the top of your head?" She was like, "Why didn't you just say that?" I'm like, "I always say that." She's like, "You've never said that before in the 8 years that I've known you." So I don't know where I've picked this up from.
You know you said it in the last episode, don't you?
Did I?
Yeah, I picked it up when I was listening to it.
Uh,
I was like, "Huh?
this isn't a
Where's that
phrase
come
that I've
from?"
made up, is it?
No,
No?
no. Tim Westwood used to say it quite a lot
Have I picked
back
it
in the
up
day
from
when he used to listen to like
Tim Westwood back in
Rap
the day?
FM or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, we don't talk about Tim Westwood anymore, but that's a different conversation, isn't it? But,
Well,
he did the UK version of Pimp My Ride, didn't he?
he did
That
indeed
was
in the UK.
that was anyway, let's get back to Warhammer. Yeah,
Indeed.
how did we get there? I'm not sure. Sisters of Battle, I like them. Adeptus Sororitas, whatever we call them nowadays. Yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm excited to see what more people in the community do with the paint jobs for this kill team. And yeah, I think I'm interested to learn a bit more about them, and who knows, maybe we'll have a bit more of a discussion about it on a future podcast.
Fingers crossed. I would like to do some myself, to be
Yeah.
honest. So
Ooh, should we
we'll
have a
see how
paint
that
off?
goes. Ooh,
Yeah, we could
that's a good
both do
idea.
something a little bit different, see what we come up with. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm there for that. Actually,
Yeah,
that's a good shout.
yeah,
That is a damn good shout, in fact.
yeah. That'd be cool. And we could pop 'em up in the Discord, and we can get people to not rank them or anything, but just say, "What do you like about these? What do you like about these?" We could put them on the Instagram and yeah, show it to you guys. I think that's a cool
I'm
idea.
there for it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's stick a pin in that one, we'll do that. I've got a
Well, hobby updates, and we should probably talk about that. All of the hobby we've done over the last 2 weeks, all of it, every single little bit.
every single little bit. Well, as you're probably not surprised to hear, I haven't done a right lot, to be honest. January is a busy time of the year for me work-wise, so, yeah, I'm using that as an excuse. Have had stuff going on, things non-Warhammer related, fun things, it's just been a busy couple of weeks, but on the flip side, I have converted and primed a Kasachin kill team with a
Ooh.
commissar converted. So basically, I'll tell you what I've been reading. So I think I mentioned last episode I started reading some of the Caiaphas Cain novels again. Suddenly got an idea to do a bit of a kill team based around that. So I
Mhm.
had the Kasachin kill team. I've had them for ages. I can't remember why I bought them. And I thought I could do something a little different with these. And I like the idea of the Valhallans, but the models that they have, them old metal ones are really derpy and showing their age. So what I thought was put a bit of a fur trim around, some of the jackets down at the bottom. And then what I've done is I've green stuff sculpted sort of scarves and some sort of fur hoods on them. I think that's
Mhm.
turned out pretty good from a fairly novice, green stuffer.
They
Um,
looked really good when I saw them last week, was it? Whenever
yeah,
yeah.
I'm happy with them actually.
You should be, dude.
I got some I got some third party resin heads ages ago because I had a similar idea a while back and I just kind of put it on the back burner. But I got from a company called Anvil Industries.
Mhm.
To be honest,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I've had them for a while, since before I knew you, because I would have just got you to print me them with your 3D printer. But, I got the, Ushanka heads, that sort of type of hat, the
Yeah, yeah.
sort of like the fur trapper hat, and that's where that idea of the fur trim on the jackets came into play. A lot of them have got sort of scarves around the mouths or like snow goggles, so it really led me down that Valhalla Ice Warriors route, and I thought that'd be a, cool little tie into what I'm reading, and it's just something a little different, and it's another kill team to play with. And I had 2 boxes of Gaunt's Ghosts, that I've had lying around for ages. So I built one to do as Gaunt's Ghost, just as a cool little painting project. And with the other one, I've kind of kept for bits. So what I did was I built Gaunt as is, but I didn't put his Tanith bayonet on because that's, overtly for him and his character. And I over sort of sculpted the sort of sash that he's got because he's got the, commissar outfit. And I made it up into more of a sort of cold weather scarf and also to cover up the Tanith insignia sort of pin
Alright,
that
yeah,
he
yeah.
has. And I think that's worked quite nicely because, he's got the same weapon loadout as Caiaphas Cain. And, from a lot of the descriptions, they look fairly similar. So I thought that'd be, an interesting thing to do. And I'll just sort of play him as the Cassican sergeant because, as far as I'm aware, he has bolt pistol and chainsword as one of the weapon options. So as long as you don't mind that he looks like a
No,
commissar,
not at all.
I just thought that'd just be a fun bit of flavour.
Absolutely, yeah.
And on the back of that, I found an old Lehman Russ tank that is half built that I think we're going to use as some sort of blown up tank terrain for Kill Team, which I'll probably paint up, in the Valhallans sort of paint scheme with some of their insignia on to just really tie it together a bit. So, yeah, I'm pretty proud of how that's coming along, actually. Yeah, that's about it really, sort of on the physical side. And yeah, been reading more Caiaphas Cain, but yeah, it's just been a busy couple of weeks, so that's about it for me.
That's a fair watch, dude.
Yeah, I suppose it is when you think about it that way.
So I was gonna make a joke about you, not even liking Warhammer, but, I feel like on the back of that watch, I can't really do that, which is disappointing, so I was really looking forward to mocking you, to be honest, but, oh well.
So what about you?
I've probably actually done less than you for the past couple of weeks. Much like you, I've had a fair wodge going on in the old personal life, and yeah, that's kind of impacted my output.
Mm.
So what I've got going on at the moment is my realm of battle boards, or our realm of battle boards for the Path to Glory. They are taking me longer than I thought they were gonna. Just the amount, yeah. I've gone a little bit further than I probably should have done with the paint job, but if I didn't, I would have regretted it.
Yeah, you are a
So
perfectionist.
yeah, and it is all about the immersion as we've touched on before. So that's if you don't know what the realm of battle boards are, Games Workshop a while back used to sell these 2 by 2 tiles. They came in packs of 6, and they make up a 8 by 4. Sorry, 6 before. Yeah, 6 before, isn't it?
I think so.
6 before gaming surface where you play your battles across. The one that I picked up a while back works really, really well for what we wanted. So I've managed to get some river sections in there and other bits and pieces to paint them. So they're working along our ideas narrative for Path to Glory. But just the sheer size of them makes it quite tedious to paint. And even when you're using airbrushes, um, and all of the faster techniques, dry brushing here and there, just getting to the point where they look nice and diverse enough so they don't just look boring takes a little bit of time. So yeah, I'm on with those. I'm probably maybe at this rate, it's probably going to be the end of the month, realistically, if not into next month,
Yeah.
to get those done.
I mean,
So yeah,
from what I've seen, they're looking good. And I mean, I even heard that you roped in a helper to
I
speed the
did.
process up,
Yeah,
which was a surprise.
I know. I'd normally I that is the one thing that I feel is cheating a lot of the time is that I hate anybody else working on any of my projects because it's like I feel like that's it should be a me thing, but I had to get my wife involved because there's just so many like little cracks and crannies in there, and we
Skulls.
just we had a really nice evening, just sat chilled out, um, working on those boards. So she was painting all of the river section parts or whatever it's supposed to be that is going to be painted as a river for me, while I worked on the ridiculous amount of skulls
Yeah, there are a lot of
that are on
skulls.
those things. It's just stupid. So yeah, shout out to my wife for helping with that. You were an absolute star. Not that she listens to this, she doesn't. I don't think she's ever listened to one of these, but
No, Soph
yeah,
doesn't listen
you're
to
the
them.
best, missus.
Soph doesn't listen to them either, and she's even been on. a few episodes. So
She has.
yeah, I don't know. I'll never understand them.
Right.
I do know what you're saying
Who
though. I
would
think, as much as Warhammer is a, a social hobby, I think it's a very personal hobby, and I do
Mhm.
understand what you're saying about, wanting to work on your own things. Like, I mean, I could ask Soph to help me do something. I know she wouldn't, but I don't think I ever would. And I don't know if that's a weird sort of control thing, but I'm in agreement that it is a very personal thing. And I was surprised
It's
when you
random, innit?
said you had a helping you.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's just it was so daunting because you think, well, you just dry brush everything and you could get through it like that, but when you start to think everything is 28 millimeter scale at 8 by 4,
Yeah.
it fills up fast with detail,
Yeah, it puts it in
and
perspective
as
as
it's
well when you think about it
yeah,
like that.
and when we're going for immersion, I wanted to go to the same level of finish that I've put on the bases of the minis so that
Mm.
it does tie in, so it isn't breaking that suspension of disbelief for me,
Yeah, I think we've
and
both put a lot of time and effort into the unified basing theme that we've got. So yeah,
exactly.
I've said this to you. I mean, I really do appreciate you putting in this effort and time to get these done. I haven't seen them in person, but the pictures you've shown me, they are looking really cool. So I am,
They're definitely coming along,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I did. It's taking more time than it should have, but so I haven't touched on any of the other stuff that I actually started. So I did also start previously, as I mentioned last episode, some more bits of terrain. So the trees, which I believe is the Sylvaneth terrain piece,
yeah,
and
yeah.
um, the Stormcast elements. I don't know what they're called. The Sigmarite Mausoleum, is it?
Oh,
I want to say
yes,
Sigmarite
Sigmar
Mausoleum.
Mausoleum. Yeah.
Um, No, no, that's not it. That's the Soul Blight stuff. I am working on
Oh, okay.
those.
Oh, yeah. You've already.
The Stormbolt, I've got like 3 different versions of the
Ah,
Stormbolt
yes.
and that I've got all of that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of I was just cleaning them all lines off there and I've primed them. They're ready to get painted. I think that's all of the painting that I've done. I've not done anything else with everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
I have started reading the Battle Tome for the Maggotkin,
Okay.
and perhaps that's something we'll talk about next episode. I should have finished it by then.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it so far, about halfway through it.
Nice.
Yeah, really, really enjoying that way more than I thought I was gonna, to be absolutely honest.
That's good.
Did not expect to enjoy it as much as I have, but it's been a good read so far.
Good.
I don't know if that's because it's good, or just because it's taken my mind off of everything else that's been going on and just like let me kind of zone out and, focus on something that's enjoyable. So
Either or,
but
it's a good result.
that's it, innit?
Yeah.
And the other thing I've been doing, I've been listening to Manflayer, the Fabius Bile
Mm.
book.
Enjoying it?
Still getting through that. Again, I've not smashed through much of it with one thing or another. I think I've got about 4 hours of it left,
Okay.
so it's not particularly long book. I think it's like 11 hours or something, but
Okay.
just because of the lack of hobby I've had, I've not been listening to it as much. So yeah, it's been a fairly light one for me. Oh, I picked up issue 520 of White Dwarf because it had the Flesh Eater Courts rules in for Darkwater.
Oh, yeah.
I have picked that up. I've not read any of them. It's sat there waiting for me to dive into,
Yeah.
and obviously I've not played any more Darkwater yet because time and such. So yeah, fairly light couple of weeks for me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? This is, we're real people. Sometimes, jobs, families, whatever, takes precedence. And we know that this is a hobby that we enjoy doing. And as much as we want to, spend the time doing it, sometimes we can't. And I'm sure it's the same for you guys. But, it's good that we have things like this where we stick to a schedule. So we always make time to do things like this, and we're always in and out of the Discord chatting with people there. So it's nice even when we can't make the time to, sit and paint, or we don't have time with other commitments to actually play a game or whatever. It's nice that we're always involved somehow, and that is a big thing for me. Like, I'm really happy that
Mhm.
we have the chance to do things like that and talk to people in the Discord, because it keeps the creative juices flowing a bit. It keeps the ideas coming. We get to see really cool paint jobs, cool conversions, and just have this have this Discord with people. Yeah, never realized that's why it's called that. That's a really obvious thing, but yeah, and that's not a plug for the Discord by any means. But if it sounds like something you like, come and join. Links in the bio everywhere. So yeah, we implore you to do that because it is growing, and we've got a really cool bunch of people in there. So
Absolutely. Drop in. Have a natter. My throat is gunked up, I swear to God, I don't know what is going on. It's not like I've got a sore throat or anything. It's just I'm I can't speak. I think that's been symptomatic all the way through the entire recording of this episode.
Well,
So, yeah.
if we wanna shatter the fourth wall, it is Friday. It is 10:20 in the evening. We have both been talking all week at our respective jobs because we both do a lot of that, so it kinda makes sense.
It does, yeah. I wish I could talk all day about Warhammer. Alas, I cannot do such things. I've got to be a functioning adult and, interface with people on a very boring level
Yeah,
sometimes. That's no, I don't
sucks.
hate my job by any means. It's just that I've got to be all serious. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is model of the moment, model of the minute, whatever we want to talk about. I want to talk about one model, and this model in particular is one that's caught my eye. And why has it caught my eye? Do I like it? Do I hate it? Well, that's a good question. Well, I'm glad you asked, even though your lips didn't move one bit. And clearly the caffeine is kicking right back in now because I feel wide awake and ready to go. So, who is it? I'm not going to keep you waiting anymore. It's Khan the
It
Betrayer.
is.
Kill, maim, and also burn.
I was
This
surprised
guy.
to see this when you propose this as your mini of the moment.
Mhm.
I as much as I know you like corn and a lot, the can, I should say, I didn't think this model would be up your street, so I'm intrigued to hear why you like it.
I don't. That's why I like it. That's exactly why I chose it.
Right, okay.
So, um,
Tell me why.
I this sculpt I think is a fairly recent version of it, isn't it?
I think
So
so.
this,
It's the most
yeah,
recent
I think it
version.
came out a couple of years ago.
Mm.
And I was really excited when I heard there was a new Count the Betrayer sculpt coming out because I was like, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna paint it, and I'm gonna paint him so good. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a night to remember. I was gonna get me some like red wine. I was gonna, put on some like thrash metal, and I was gonna paint him like nobody had painted before. It was gonna be paint for the paint god. And then they showed me this model, and I was like, what the actual is this all about? Because
Mm.
this is a big pile of steaming poopy. I hate this model.
I didn't
I hate it with a passion. And I know it seems like I hate a lot of models, and a lot of them do, and I feel very passionate about that, and I can't help it because this character is cool. It should be cool. It should be an absolute animal, a badass. The guy is just angry. He's got a kill counter going on in his mask all of the time. I want that in my life. That's just amazing. And this model just doesn't do any of that thing. I think for such a cool character, they have dropped the ball so hard with this that they've dropped the ball. Somebody else has run on in, stabbed the ball, then the ball's been set on fire. So we've got a deflated, burning ball, and then somebody's buried it really, really deeply. And then there's no ball. Why is there no ball? It's like, what are you doing, Games Workshop? Why is Khan this bad when he is such an iconic 40k character? You might even say he's the face of Korn. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that to be your reaction and that analogy, but I get it. I don't like this model. I mean, I same as you, Khan in the law, I really like him. I think, especially since, reading about him in 30K, he's much more sort of nuanced and there's more to him than I thought there was, way back when. That model doesn't do him justice. It just looks cartoony. He looks like a cartoon bad guy. Um, I don't understand it. He doesn't look particularly threatening. I think there's too many round edges on that model. It's a bit busy. Yeah, I'm with you. It's not my vision of Khan, basically. I like the 30K version of Khan. I mean, shocker. I love the Horus Heresy in that era, but the 30K Khan looks like I expect Khan to look, and I kind of wanted him to look like a red version of that rather than what we've got here. Just yeah, it's it's not a good model for me. It just looks a bit derpy.
I can get the scale of it and such with him, you know, is non-primaris, but it doesn't work. I wonder if a lot of it as well is because as we've talked about, and it seems to be something that we're just constantly saying. Is it the angle? Is it the paint job? Is it the angle that is photographed at? But
I think it's the
there's
sculpt. I do.
it's this, for me, it feels like it's the sculpt. There's so many muddy details. Um, like Gorechild just looks wrong
Yeah.
to me.
It
Uh,
looks soft, and I don't know how else to describe it. It doesn't look threatening. It yeah.
in its defense, it is like an update of what Khan was originally, but it doesn't work. I think they could have done so much more and made this a really fantastic headlining sculpt that would have done justice and paid homage to the character, but would have brought it bang up to date.
Yeah.
Um, to the point where there's some really good third party sculpts of this. I've seen some absolutely fantastic ones. What this doesn't do for me at all, I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this, right? So I say we all know about Khan the Betrayer. Perhaps we don't all know about Khan the Betrayer. So, um, Khan is an angry gentleman.
Understatement
He
of the,
was,
millennium there, yeah.
yeah, he was a world eater. He was, he fell during the heresy, and he just, turned to corn,
Yep.
got angrier and angrier and angrier. And there's no doubt that he was a fantastic combatant. He was just like, he was just hard.
Yeah.
Even in Space Marine terms, this guy is just like a monster.
Yeah.
Um, and he's got that big old Gorechild. It is called a Gorechild, isn't it? I've not made this
I
up.
believe
The
so.
axe is called Gorechild.
Yeah, it's one of Angron's, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is one of the most metal names. If you had a giant chain axe, you would call it Gorechild. I'm
Oh, yeah.
I'm there for it.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, this guy just looks like he's from a metal band from the late 80s.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
But the model, and when you look at the artwork, so I would strongly urge everybody, if you don't know who this guy is, to Google some of the artwork. You'll find some absolutely fantastic pieces there. Official G-Dubs artwork. And the model doesn't convey the writing and the fury and the anger that's supposed to be conveyed by this character. This constant, relentless forward motion of like murder and just rage, just visceral hatred for everything that's alive. It's not there. It just looks almost disinterested.
Yeah.
It looks generic.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a named character.
No, he
It
doesn't.
doesn't look like he embodies those things.
I'm completely with you. I just think it doesn't do him justice. I think that's the big part of it for me. Completely agree with this, everything that you're saying. Also, um, I've never noticed, why has he been painted with blue hair on these pictures?
Um,
Does he have
I
blue
I
hair?
I I don't know.
That is hair, right? That I'm looking at, and
I
it's
mean,
blue,
they
isn't
they
it?
they look like tassels,
Oh,
but
okay, maybe so. Yeah.
I mean, they look like earringy tassels coming from these like
Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. But,
helmet compensation
yeah,
things.
I don't get any real sense of his savage nature. He doesn't look aggressive enough. He doesn't Khan should look terrifying, right? This guy looks
Yeah.
just a bit comical, and yeah, it's they dropped the ball. You're right, and buried it, set on fire, whatever else you said. I mean, if you take a look at it side by side against the 30K equivalent, which is showing its age, I know which one I'd rather have personally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, no, I'm kinda there with you on this.
yeah, yeah, we've agreed on something for once. Shocker.
Yeah, almost we have, haven't we, there? So it's
Yeah.
why did I choose it then as mini of the moment? Because, well, it is the mini of the moment, and we've never established that it has to be a mini that we particularly like or dislike, just something that we've had a lot of thought and
Mm.
we get interest from. And so, why did I pick it? And, well, as we've talked about, I really like this character, I dislike the sculpt. And one of the elements of the hobby, I think, that we've not talked about loads is how we can take something we like that has a model that we don't particularly like, and what we can do about that. I don't have a world eater army. Don't plan on having one, but this is one of those projects that I think I want to tackle in perhaps this year, maybe into next year. Whereas I want to do my interpretation of Khan, where I can find a model and kit bash something that I think is
Yeah,
my Khan the Betrayer. And I
that's
think that's one of the important elements in the hobby, that you don't forget to enjoy the elements that you want. It's gaming's great, spending time together is great, and all of the other stuff. But there's other bits and pieces in there that you can get in there. And one of those things for me is I really like creating
mm,
stuff from this setting that we enjoy so much. So yeah, Khan the Betrayer. I think he's been betrayed by Games Workshop.
wisdom.
He's been done dirty by not having a great model. So I'm going to try and rectify that, at least in a small part, for my own collection.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'm really looking forward to seeing that come along. I didn't know that you were planning on doing that, but I completely understand why. Similar to why I've, wanted to do something different with my Casakin guys, make them look like something that doesn't exist, i- as a model to buy anymore. Doing that conversion, having something unique, but basing it on something, or at least your idea of something, that level of creativity that we can get from this hobby, even if the model doesn't exist in the format that we'd like, we can still do it. Nobody can stop us from doing that, and that's great. But yeah, that's really really good point. And yeah, I like what you've done with the miniature of the moment segment, and that's going to give me a lot of things to think about. I think going forward. Speaking of going forward, we've been having a few chats between ourselves, in depth actually, about where we want this podcast to go and thinking of some potential changes, aren't we?
We have and we are. So if you've made it this far, we'll keep this at the end of the podcast. So if you don't want to listen to what we're going to talk about now, then do feel free to check out now. And in which case, we'll see you in the next one. But if you are still here, we've been talking about names and games, really, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I suppose it's worth us saying why we've been thinking about that, because Warhammer and Wings is such a cool name. We like it. It's fun. It's relevant. It does what it says on the tin, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For us,
Yeah, yeah. We play Warhammer and we eat wings. So
that's it. However, Warhammer is the IP of Games Workshop, and if you've been keeping abreast of what's going on in the wider community at the moment, Games Workshop are taking quite a stringent hold back of their IP, and any infringements and potential infringements there, anything that, might be said on any channels that they might not agree with, if there is leverage to use against the people just so that they can keep hold of what's literally theirs, then they are doing so. So that's not to say we've had any contact with Games Workshop to tell us that we can't use the name Warhammer and Wings. That's not the case, is it?
no, and look, we don't pretend that we're even on their radar by any means. We're a very new, very small podcast, and we just do it because we enjoy doing it. But we thought it'd be a good opportunity to maybe give ourselves a bit of a refresh, give ourselves a little bit of a new look rather than a new identity, and just future proof because you never know. Things can go viral and things can take off. So thought it might be a good opportunity to just change things up a little bit and just have a bit of a revamp really. We're, coming up on we'll be coming up to a year into this very shortly, and we still enjoy doing it, and it's performing fairly well, and we want to keep, churning out these episodes to anyone that will listen, as long as we can really. So we think we want to future proof ourselves. We want to make sure it's still authentic to us, and yeah, just a bit of a breath of fresh air, I guess. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as I say, there's no harm in making sure we don't fall foul of anybody
Ugh.
at all. It's easier to do it now than it is to do it later on, as we kind of build up SEO and all of the other things associated with getting a brand or a name out there. And as Will's rightly said there, we're not planning on stopping doing this anytime in the near future, at least. So it makes sense to change things a little bit so that it's still relevant, but it's not gonna step on anybody's toes if people do get a little bit shirty about stuff, and then we don't have to do stuff in a, reactionary capacity. We can just sit back, chill, and enjoy the process of putting content out there about something we love without fear of, um, any sort of potential legal reprisal or, people whinging about copyright ownership or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, it's not like we're monetized or anything like that, so it
No.
it doesn't really matter, but,
It doesn't.
um
I think, you worded it quite well. You said, "Without having the sword of Damocles hanging over your head." I really enjoyed that when you said it. But, yeah, we ended up having a discussion at my dining room table about this. We were just thinking about ways we could make the podcast better, and it spiraled into this big discussion, that we enjoyed having, don't get me wrong, and we're not gonna be massively changing the format of the podcast, far from it. We think we're going to lean into some of the more fun aspects. We've got a couple of ideas for new segments and, a few interesting things like that. So it is only gonna get better. And, as you said, Wayne, we don't do this for money. Nothing's monetized. We do this because we're two guys hanging out and we like to talk about Warhammer, and that's what we wanna keep doing and keep continuing to do that for you guys that enjoy listening.
with that in mind, we haven't come up with a replacement name yet, have we? So
We've got a couple of ideas, haven't we? I think there's one that I am leaning towards, but I don't think you're as invested in. That's still on the table. But we've got some ideas for some clearer branding, maybe a better brand identity imagery wise, something that will transfer easier. And we've got some really cool ideas about getting a bit more content out for you guys that isn't in this format. So watch this space. Yeah, we've got some really fun ideas about what we want to do with the podcast and us this year. So I think it's all going to be good.
yeah, absolutely, and, I think it leans into us also changing up how we actually record these as well, doesn't it? Because, as we've alluded to throughout the podcast, I suppose, in this episode, things have changed a little bit in our personal lives where it may mean that we can't do the podcast in person, but what that does mean is we get to play more games more often to talk about on the podcast. So if we're doing the podcast remotely as we are now, it sounds just as good, we think, if not actually better. The setup is pretty much identical. It just makes it a little bit easier to do the editing as well if we're remote. So it takes a little bit less time for me to put things together and get it out there. And time is the pressing thing as things change in life. So yeah, that kind of all leads together that we get to do more hobby, which means we get to talk or have more things to say about
Yeah.
hobby, ironically.
Yeah.
So it's been a perfect storm of things that have made us think about how we want to change things up, but also ensure the longevity of us being able to do this in the future. So yeah, I think just being transparent with everybody about what we're trying to do, and I can't state enough that I'm sure you'll echo my sentiments on this as well, Will, is the last thing we are trying to do is change things in a manner that will enable us to create any type of business model from this, really.
No,
If
that's
we if we got something that would allow us to buy microphones or anything like that, but we have no illusions of wanting to change day jobs or anything
no.
like that. It is just literally we don't want to like annoy a multi-billion pound corporate company that seems to be gunning for small
For the
creators
little guys.
and large creators alike at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I get it.
it's
It's it's never been a case that we're not naive enough to think that we're gonna take over the world and create some sort of media empire. Far from it. We both have full-time jobs and families, as you guys know. this has never been an idea to become a business. This is purely for fun. We create this podcast to have the conversations that we wanted to have with people and create a podcast that we wanted to listen to. And if there's anyone along from the ride, that's great. And, and if that's all it ever is, then that's cool. That's all we ever wanted out of it. So it's not a case that we're going to be sticking in adverts or, begging for money. If for whatever reason we end up getting a load of clicks and it pays for us to get a bit of Warhammer or some paint or like you say, microphones every now and then that's great. But it's not the case that we're looking to change our day jobs. Far from it.
So yeah, I think going through all that with you guys, if you've listened through of this, that's why things might change going forwards in the near term. I, for one, I'm very pro having a more simple identity, even though I really do like what we've got. We want to kind of steer away as well, where possible, from using any sort of AI. Without getting too far into that debate around what we think about that and such, but it just didn't look as cool as we would want it to do. So, having a simpler logo that's more reflective of our personalities and what we want as creators. I suppose if we can call ourselves that, then that feels like a little bit contrived, but I
No, I don't
suppose,
think so. I think
you know.
you can put that label on a multitude of different things. But yeah, we think yeah, necessity has forced us to change some of the things, but it's going to be a change for the better. I think we've both accidentally kind of become more important, which is taking our focus elsewhere from the way that we did things previously. But I don't know if you guys agree. We think the last episode that we recorded in the same way we are doing now, which is remotely, we are in two separate houses, two different towns that are fairly close to each other. Whereas previously we've done the podcast in person, but I think the sound quality is really good the way that we're doing it. And we've had some good feedback and we really enjoyed listening back to it, which we don't tend to do very often. So it seems to be that we've been kind of forced to make some changes, but it's actually worked out better. So we're kinda gonna run with that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of putting it. It's been somewhat of a happy accident, hasn't it? And
Yeah.
it has actually meant we've got to chat more as well because
Mm.
sometimes if we're recording on a Thursday or every other Thursday, sometimes the episodes would be a little bit lighter
Yeah.
because we just hadn't had the conversations that we've had to then talk about, spark the ideas of the things that we would want to explore more in depth. So
Mm.
yeah, I think this is a net positive overall, to be honest. So
Yeah.
yeah, let us know what you guys think. We have mentioned it in the Discord, and the general consensus is who cares about the name, and I could not agree more about that. You found us; it's not like it's going to stop anyway. So, and there's ways and means around making sure we don't lose any of the, I suppose, SEO elements we've already got, but
Mm.
it's all on the platforms and with the keywords. So
Yeah, let's
yeah,
let's put it this way.
whatever.
We're gonna be talking about Warhammer, chicken wings, hot sauce, all with our usual brand of whatever we are. That's not gonna change, so don't worry about that. We'll just think about it in layman's terms, better sound quality, a cooler logo, some more fun things introduced on the podcast, maybe some funny segments, it's just something that gives us a little bit more identity. So, I'm sure you guys will like it.
Absolutely. Right, we've got that housekeeping out of the way. Are we going to leave the listener questions until next episode? And
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, should we do that? Because it's getting fairly late now,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is getting
And I
late
could,
and we've done a good couple of hours. So yeah, we can store them,
I think we have.
keep them in the bank for next time.
Let's do that, and we have a wodge of listener questions to
Listener.
go through. Oh, a wodge, say a wodge.
You said listener, like Sean Connery.
Listener, like Sean Connery. I, I can't. I'm dead. I'm so tired. It's untrue.
Yeah, let's call it then. Right. Where can everybody find us, Wayne?
On the internet as well.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're Warhammer and Wings everywhere.
Oh yeah.
You can get in touch with us at warhammerandwings@gmail.com,
Yeah.
and you can find us on the Discord link in the description in the bio.
Yeah.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Prime thing, all of the
Yeah.
places that you would get podcasts. You can. If you can find it in your heart of hearts to leave us a little bit of a review, 5 star, share it, do any of that good stuff that helps us grow. As I said at the start, please do. It is appreciated, and we will love you forever and ever and be internet friends with you.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I think we're not planning on stopping. Things are gonna get better. So if you've been with us from the start, we really appreciate it because we haven't been going very long. We are still learning as we go, and I think we're getting better gradually as we go. So, stick with us. It's gonna get even better.
Absolutely. If you've got any ideas for what you would like us to talk about, things that we might not have explored, let us know. Let us know what you think about that Rogue Trader idea as well,
Ooh.
because that was a tasty one. And we've got Forge World stuff to talk about, and we've got some really fun top tens as well. I think will be fun because
Yeah.
I really am intrigued in what Will's picks would be as well. And obviously, there will be the Path to Glory happening at some point, which is just like at this point, should have been done because of the bloody realm of battle boards, but it's so frigging big.
And Kill Team.
God damn 'em. And Kill Team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got loads of plans.
loads of
Loads
plans.
of plans.
Probably more time as well if it gets re-released or whatever.
Oh, yeah, we did have a
We could
conversation
say.
about that earlier. We'll talk about that as and when it happens.
Indeed, we will. Right, I'm going to call it there because I need to go and sleep.
Yeah.
Have a good one, everybody.
Yeah.
Night, Will.
Night, guys.